Hey everybody! Today is Sunday, May 10th, 2026. Welcome to another DMVCBN Discussion Club. And shout out to all returning viewers and subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today we're here to discuss Daredevil Born Again Season 2. I'm so excited to talk about this show with you guys. We have been following Daredevil, since it started back on Netflix. And today I've got my good friend Claude here with me. Hey Claude, how's it going?
Going well. Going well. Happy to be back to chat.
So glad to have you back. I don't know if I said my name yet. My name is Freddy, aka the DMV Comic Book Nerd. I am 37 years old and I am from Washington, D.C. You want to tell us where you're from, Claude?
Yeah, I am Claude, also known as curlyinsaneguy, and I am from Washington State, so the other Washington. And I am 34 years old.
Nice. We are here to talk about Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We might have another friend hop on sooner or later, fingers crossed. But for now, we are just going to talk about this season, what we liked, what we didn't like. It'll be kind of a free flowing conversation. And a little bit of a disclaimer, comics are political. So if we talk about political things, don't be surprised. They've
It
always
is
been
it is
political.
very bound to
They
happen.
remain political. Yes. So um, let's get right into it. So you've seen the whole season, right?
I have, absolutely.
And how you feel about it? Thumbs up, thumbs down, in the
Oh, thumbs
middle?
up. Absolute
Yeah,
thumbs up. It wasn't perfect, I'll say, but I liked more than I didn't, and I think it was really solid television. How
I
about
agree. Like
yourself?
I enjoyed it. I was very pleased. I feel like I enjoyed it more than Born Again season one. What about you?
I think I'm the same. Actually, to steal a little, I believe you said in on somewhere on social media, but it did feel more cohesive in that you could tell it wasn't like partway through and they scrapped the whole thing to change it.
Yeah.
It
Season
felt
one
like,
had that editing. They had the change of showrunners and all that.
and this time it felt like it had more of a solid direction. It was
It did.
felt a little slow at times in that direction, but it was always moving one way, so I think that's really good.
See, I actually thought I didn't think it was that slow. I felt like each episode was a banger. Honestly, I feel like each episode had like a season finale type of feel. Like something epic was happening.
I could see that.
Like
Yeah, there wasn't any that felt like this was the low point, but some of them, maybe because they felt like a full story each, there is a little bit of like lengthening in the middle of each episode where it feels like
yeah.
slow to me. I'm just very sensitive to that, or like,
So
maybe
that's
my brain
fair.
just wants to to things to be speedier. But I still really enjoyed the whole thing.
And that's the thing with Daredevil right now. Like season one of Born Again was a lot of setup,
Mhm.
and I felt like in season two we actually got a lot of payoff to the things that were being set up, and I love that. But even with that, they're still setting things up. Like we'll talk about it more, but things going on with Heather Glenn, things going on with I guess you could say maybe Buck or someone like that. Like
Yeah.
there are still things that they're leaving open for season three, which is a good
I
thing.
definitely want to get into that at the end because I think there's a lot of potential to try something very different in season three, and I wonder how receptive the audience is actually going to be to
I
something
do
like a
too.
lot different. It
So
feels
real
like
quick,
it
let me
could
just
be.
put out a spoiler alert, like, just because
Good call,
it's
good
essential.
call.
Like, everyone's like we're gonna discuss spoilers from here on out. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it because you're gonna enjoy it. And if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know why you're listening to us. So, but
Yeah, that's a
you're
weird call. I mean,
but you're
thanks,
welcome.
but
Yeah, thank
yeah.
you. All right, so but yeah, on the topic of season three, we've already seen leaks online. We might be getting ahead of ourselves, but we might as well just talk about it because
A little bit, yeah.
we know the Defenders are coming back. We've already gotten to see Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. I was kind of surprised to see him in the last
I
episode.
didn't think they were going to put him there at the end, so that was cool. That was really
Yeah,
cool. He
and
looked great. He still looks fantastic.
yep, they all look the same. And they all look ready to go. So I'm very excited. Like, we got to meet their daughter, Danielle Cage, which is
That's cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, uh, I kind of want to just talk about all this stuff now while we're on the topic.
Sure. Yeah. Jump around a
So
little bit. Yeah.
even though we're not talking about Daredevil like first, but we'll get back to that. I promise.
He's the meat of it. We'll get to yeah, we'll get to all that. Yeah.
But yeah, like I was a fan of the Defenders series. I was sad I didn't get a season two. And I feel like the reviews were always pretty mixed on Defenders. It was kind of it was never the most praised of the Netflix shows. Whereas for me, it was like the end game. It was like it brought them all
It
together. Like it
did
was
feel like the big crossover event.
yeah.
I mean that's what
So
it was, but yeah, it just didn't hit the way that it could have.
so I'm worried that could be like that might not be like if season three of Daredevil is leaning more towards bringing back the Defenders, is that what people want, or is
That's
that
my
what people think
question.
they want?
Yeah, that's my question because there's the potential I think to with Kingpin off the board. We're full spoilers territory. So with
Yep.
Kingpin off the board at the end of the season, and them having to like bring in new villains, is it going to be much more like villain of the week with the defenders handling them while Matt's having prison drama? Like, and will people want that? Because I've seen a lot of complaints now about like, wow, he's been fighting Kingpin for 5 seasons. That's kind of like repetitive, but it's like if you bring in these like smaller villains that you don't get to attach to as long, are people going to actually like keep caring about the series? And I don't know. So, but I think it would be fun for them to like dip into the comics well and just bring in like the owl, really get a mix of characters and see who people like. Like it feels like it's going to be a tester season where they just try things.
So I don't know if you remember, they did have
They did have
Leland
Owlsley.
Owlsley
Yeah, yeah.
in the Netflix series.
I
I
think
don't
they'll have like a brother or descendant situation where
right like
there's
they
a
did with
scary
BB.
one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like yeah, they can do anything. Like I think with the Defenders, I'm looking forward to it more than I'm not looking forward to it. Like I do have some reservations, but um, I think similarly they could bring in the Hand again, and I feel like there's a lot of mixed opinions on that. Like people are very like iffy on
Yeah,
the Hand
people
because
like
like
when people complain about the second season, they're like, "Oh, I didn't really like the hand in the second half." So I don't know.
yeah, I'm like on the one hand, I think people think the Hand stuff is cool, but then until they actually see it executed, they're like, well, I don't know. Like I think the Hand stuff is cool. I like Elektra. I'd like to see Elektra come back. Maybe I don't know. Like I don't know what I want, so I'm just gonna leave that up to the
Yeah,
producers and the writers.
I
Maybe they
have
can come up
kind
with
of what
something.
I want a little bit. I don't know about like the main villains of it, but if we're gonna have the defenders, I like the idea. I like the idea of them like training White Tiger. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think that'd be really fun to see like how the defenders as mentors like vary because you have Luke Cage, very different personality from Jessica, very different personality from Danny. So it'd be fun to see how they interact with a kid to me.
yeah. Like I understand. Like I agree. I think that they did a great job bringing in Angela Del Toro as White Tiger, and I loved seeing her this season and everything she did. Like when she was like in the fight scene, she really held her own, and like even breaking the people out of the prisons, out of the cages, like that was such a cool scene. So like, I'd love to see her become more of a main team member on the Defenders. Daredevil's kind of like a mentor to her already, in a little bit, kind of. So yeah, I think that would be great. I I, I don't think they're going to bring back the Hand. I don't think they're going to do that. Like I think they've kind of worn that storyline out with the
I
Netflix
could I
series.
could see them doing it like to a small degree. Since I think they might rotate more for the villains, there could just be like kind of opening scene where they're fighting them or something.
Maybe like they've already teased that the Hand will have some sort of appearance in Spider-Man coming out next month or in 2 months. I'm not sure. So I don't know if is that going to be a substantial plot or is it going to be like
Yeah,
a
that's
blink and
I
you
don't
miss it
know how much it's
cameo?
gonna be. Yeah, I don't know how much that's gonna play into it. There's already so much going on with that movie. But maybe just having the Hand as like a background element in the MCU is enough to make it feel connected. So like if Spider-Man has a scene fighting the Hand and they're not like the main threat, and then you see the Defenders fighting them just briefly, not the main threat of their show either, it kind of creates a little bit of continuity there. I don't know. That it's really I have no idea what they're going to do with the next season, which is fun,
Me neither.
but
I
it's
mean,
very like dangerous territory as far as audience retention.
yeah. I mean, I think the things we know, they're going to bring back the Defenders, and they're probably going to do more with Mr. Charles, whoever he is, and what he's got going
Yeah.
on. And Bullseye is now in his, under his care. So, so let's backtrack. Let's talk about
Well, we just
Daredevil.
need to, yeah,
Let's
let's
start
get
with
into it.
Daredevil himself, the man himself. Um, so this season, he gets a new costume. Like, what do you think of the costume?
I think it looks so good. They made it work. There's not really any sequences that come to mind where there's like egregious CGI that makes it look weird and shiny and rubbery. Like it looks fantastic throughout, and
I agree.
I really like it. I
Yeah,
saw some people complaining about like the black and red together, like later in the season, and everyone was like, "Well, it looks like it was spray painted over with black, and it's just faded throughout the show."
yeah.
And I think that was really cool as a concept too. It looks great. It really does.
I think it looks great. I don't think they ever really explained why he
They didn't.
changed the
No,
color.
they didn't. I guess
Plus,
just because
Matt
he's
is
like, I'm on the
blind, so it's
run.
like why would a blind man care about the color of his
Yeah,
costume?
he's not doing that for anyone.
Like he's changed it so many times. I think it's for the benefit of us comic book nerds
I
who
really,
like the
yeah,
different
it does feel
costumes.
like a little, yeah, just a little treat for us. Yeah, I can't imagine them dedicating any time to like, well, I'm gonna paint this now, like, but like even a mention of like, oh, since you had us do this,
Yeah, I think
but
I think season two opened with him like stenciling the DD or something. It's I can't imagine him doing that, but I'm glad he did just because it
yeah,
looked cool.
right, like I don't know when he had the time to exactly, but good job,
Like where
man.
was Melvin? Melvin Potter, his costume guy.
Did he not get killed off in
I can't
season
remember.
three? I don't remember. I thought he did, and I was sad about it. I'll have to
Maybe.
look. It's been a
Yeah.
while, but I did like that character a lot.
Yeah. So so Daredevil's got a new costume, and now he and Karen are basically leading the resistance. Him and Karen are in a relationship now for
Yeah.
realsies. Like it's not just like will they, won't they? They finally decided that they will, at least for now.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I don't think that they're going to last. I feel like there are some things they're too opposed on, and like they have the chemistry there, but it could be the fact that I thought her chemistry was better with Frank. That makes me like think about it in a different way. But I don't know. I thought they were like kind of building to a possible breakup in the season with like them butting heads about their methods. And it didn't end up happening. But yeah, I think that'd be an interesting thing to explore in the next season too, where he's like, "Hey, we can't be together because I'm in prison." Like, is she gonna choose to be with someone else, or that might not be a focus for her at all because there are things in the city to deal with. So I don't know, but I thought they were good as a couple. They mostly like argued with each other for this season. But when they did have their like sweet moments, they were very convincing and everything. So I'm for it. I saw complaints because that's what I see on the internet. Um, someone's like, "Oh, that doesn't have the magic anymore of the will they, won't they?" And it's like, well, you can't forever. Like,
Yeah.
it's give them a chance to explore a different dynamic and see if it works versus like, oh, we have to keep them almost dating for a very long time. That would get very old too and stale.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't have the same season every time. Like, you're not gonna
Yeah.
have the exact same feeling every season. So,
Like I'm more for it than I am against it. Like I I'm glad they finally got together. Like, Karen is one of his greatest loves from the comics. Now, this brings me to the topic of, Karen died a very tragic death in the comic books. And Daredevil season three of the Netflix version, they intentionally avoided that. Like they were like, let's flip the
what if we
script.
don't? Yeah.
Yeah. and then Born Again season one, then they end up killing Foggy instead of Karen, which is
Yeah.
another flip of how things are traditionally in the Daredevil world. So it's like I think that's interesting because A, it leaves the fans guessing. We don't really know what they're going to do,
Hmm.
but also B, it avoids the trope of killing women or fridging them. There's the women in refrigerators, as coined by Gail Simone.
Yeah.
Most of our viewers probably know about this, but basically, it's you can look it up. It's basically a list of all the women in comic book history who have suffered violent, tragic fates. So Karen is a big one, but also most of Daredevil's girlfriends, are on this
Yeah,
list.
he's got a history.
So I give this show props for, not killing off all the women, right away. I mean, like, and killing men sometimes,
Yeah.
like they're trying to be equal opportunity with it. Like, I know it sounds flippant, but what I'm trying to say is though that you know this season did kill off a notable woman. We'll talk about that more. That killed off Vanessa,
Yeah.
and there's a lot to say about that. But I but they also killed off Foggy last season. They killed off Daniel this season.
They
So it's
did.
like so basically this show has real stakes. So someone has to die, for it to have that kind of stakes, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it's always sad because people start to build up love for these characters. So I don't know, like I have a lot of thoughts about it, but specifically with Karen though, I kind of feel like she has a shield now because like because she's avoided death so many times.
So
Like
many times. That's what
you
I'm
can't,
thinking. I also don't think it would. I mean, I don't think it would be great for the show. Deborah Ann Wall's like really good in the role,
yeah,
so like it would have to be such a compelling bit of narrative to actually like if they decide to kill off her character. And I don't know that there would be anything that's like enough of a payoff to cover the loss of Karen as a character. So it is
yeah.
interesting. I feel like they'll just keep her around for the long haul. Like
I
even if
think
they
so.
bring
Like
her off the show, it would just be like diminishing her role until she's gone. I don't think they do a kill, but no telling.
yeah, like right now that Foggy is gone, it feels like the main characters on the show are Daredevil, Kingpin, Karen,
Exactly. And
and
it would feel weird to lose that pillar.
yeah.
Um, it is interesting thinking about like characters that I would expect them to kill. This might be changing the subject to a different character, but I really thought with Jessica Jones coming in as like the investigator that and with how the episode where Cherry had his heart attack happened, I definitely thought they were just gonna swap those and be like, Cherry's gone. Now we've got Jessica Jones filling that role, but they kept both. And I thought that was an interesting choice. And there was still stuff going on for both of them. I was worried it was going to be like redundant having two investigators, but no, it worked out pretty well. But yeah, on that same front, it's like, would they bring in a character to be the replacement love interest to get rid of Karen? I don't think
And
they
so that's
would.
the thing. That's the thing
Yeah.
because like I feel like if they keep Elektra dead, then they gotta keep Karen. Like it's either
Yeah.
Elektra or it's Karen as Matt's true love.
Yeah. But
Like
even if they bring Elektra in, it's like, would they kill Karen or would they just like kind of sunset the character? I don't know.
like already we have this rivalry between Karen and Heather because Matt dated Heather last season, and I kind of love that little like there was that scene where
Ooh, Heather,
Heather
Heather
was
really got
interrogating
under,
Karen and it was
she
like
really
slap.
got under my skin this
Yeah,
season. Oh,
everybody like she pissed off everybody. She's terrible, but at least she's alive though because like in the comic
it's
books
true
she has a much less she's given much less agency and much less time. So
for sure.
um and so I don't know. It's very interesting. I made a post complaining. Like if we're gonna switch to talking about Heather, I'll just say I made a post talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
how a lot of people are calling her Lady Muse now that she's
I
putting on
saw
the
that
Muse mask.
post. Yeah,
And like I just want to nip that in the bud now. Like, can we not call her Lady Muse unless she calls herself that? Because just because she's a lady
you don't
doesn't
have
mean
to
her
put
name is
lady
Lady
in front of it.
Muse. It's such a stupid name. Like Muse works for any gender. Like, can we
She
just call her
muse.
Muse? Like,
Yeah, it's like it doesn't. Yeah. Well, you even pointed it out, and it's true. Like the muses in Greek mythology were women. Like it's yeah.
Yes.
So it does. You don't need a change.
Yeah, like
Uh,
it's so funny to me, to like call every like we like as comic book nerds, it is a trope. We do have Shield, we do
She-Hulk.
have
Yeah.
all these characters that
Lady Bullseye.
Lady Bullseye. Like we start out with the male character, and eventually we get the lady version of that character.
Oh,
But
I was
like,
gonna say perhaps the funniest one is Lady Stiltman. That's crazy. What a
yeah,
choice.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. And Daredevil again. Daredevil is usually where all these tropes came from. It seems like.
Yeah. Oh,
But
well, I
I
mean,
will.
with Elektra as Daredevil, wasn't called
So
Lady Daredevil.
that's what
Like,
I was just about to
yeah,
say. Like
yeah.
Elektra has been Daredevil now for you know several years. In addition to Matt still being Daredevil, and it's fine. so so can we just call characters by what they want to be called? Like it's not that hard. but Heather has not called herself Muse yet,
At all, yeah.
and so we'll see what happens in season 3. But this season we definitely see her dealing with the
Yeah.
PTSD
Well,
of what
yeah, do
happened.
you want to go character by character about like how everyone's doing? Well,
Yeah,
we've touched on Daredevil a little, and I'm sure
we'll
we'll
we'll probably come back.
we'll throw back to him because everyone interacts with him. But yeah,
Yeah,
what character would you like to talk about?
I
There's a lot of
I
big
want to stick
ones.
with Heather for a second. Like, what do you think
Okay.
of her whole arc
Interesting.
this
I
season?
I think first of all the acting for the character fantastic. Again, very upsetting person throughout the show, but I think like I didn't look and I'm bad about actress names or actor names, but just really sold like the dual sides of this. And it's interesting because it's a character that like her profession is mental health and like does not seem to be really fully recognizing her own mental health crisis. And that's interesting in and of itself. It's a cool, but also like kind of heartbreaking look at how a corrupt system could use a mental health professional to like damage other people's lives in court. Like early in the season, it was just really like upsetting with the swordsman situation and then how she was like, oh, this is how Karen acted in the interrogation and that sort of thing. I think she was really compelling more than I thought she played a bigger role than I thought she would in the season. So
Yeah,
I was impressed. I think like her dealing with her different issues has been really interesting. Having her play off of Buck for some of that was cool.
yeah.
And yeah, just overall, it was kind of like you never knew what unhinged thing was going to come up next for Heather. And yeah, that worked for me a lot. I want to
Yeah,
see where they go with her next season for sure.
yeah. So the actress, her name is Margarita Laviva, and yeah, she did a great job. She definitely made most people hate her. but
Absolutely, yeah.
I will say that one moment where in the last episode where she punched the DA in the throat, like everybody was like, "Okay, Heather, like
Yeah.
we'll give you
Oh,
that
he
one."
was. Ooh, I really don't like him. This season had so many hateable characters.
It did.
Some of them that I feel like did not fully get their comeuppance still.
Yeah.
I'm so ready in the next season for Daredevil to just destroy Powell in prison, please. Um,
Mm,
oh,
yes.
as far as
Like,
characters that don't get what they deserve,
yeah,
he's
Pal is
one.
terrible. I just hate the sound of his voice. Even like, I don't like seeing him on screen. Like,
Every
he's
time he's there, I'm
terrible.
like, oh, yeah, just calm yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Heather grew on me. I didn't really care for her that much in the first season of Born Again. It's so confusing that this show has gone like 5 seasons, but it's also this is the second season.
Yeah.
Um, I thought she was good in that one, but like I wasn't like super invested the whole way. And I feel like they paid off a lot of what they set up in the first season, so good job on that end.
Yeah. Like Heather is since she's original to Born Again, her like it'll be interesting to see where her arc goes. I think there's already been a few leaks about season 3, so I won't talk
Yeah,
about
I
too much.
haven't
I'll
seen
just
that
say
many except for the Defender's Return, so
like there's a
I'm
full
staying.
costume leak, I will say, of
Oh, okay.
of
Interesting.
what Heather's getting up to. But anyway, um
Also,
I
shout out to the scene where she chokes Buck.
right,
That
that
was an
was
interesting call.
freaky.
People on the internet were like, "Okay," they're
Yeah,
like,
it was
what's
kinky.
going
Like,
on here?" Yeah, I'm like, "Sure, that's interesting."
yeah, yeah. Like, this season was so weird. Like
This
Matt was talking about his foot
I
fetish,
was gonna say the
and
season. It was at least equal opportunity. They were like, "Hey, like," because I hate whenever they just have like, "Oh, bad guys are into kink." It's look, good guys too. Nat's a foot guy, and that's fine. I that was so funny. It felt
yeah.
completely out of left field. I was like, what is happening? He's basically getting a monologue about feet here, and I don't know what to do.
I love how Foggy's response was like, "Yeah, and you're not weird. Like
He's like,
that fully
however,
tracks
yeah,
for you." Because like, but anyway,
uh,
it was just this season had everything that a good Marvel show needs. It had action, like amazing action. It had amazing acting. It had um, heroes and villains, at their full, height of their power. Um, and it also had ups and downs, drama, humor. Like, let's talk a little bit about. Um, well, who do you want to talk about next? I'll let you choose.
so I think it would be fun because I was just interested. Bullseye.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
is that where you're going to?
Either Bullseye or Buck. I was like, it was a toss up.
They're both, yeah, it's funny because they do feel like counterparts. I was expecting a big showdown between the two at some point. I don't know why. That's what it felt like it was building
And
to me. So I'm like,
we
a
kind of
little bit,
did
yeah, not as much
like
as I had
Bullseye
wanted,
did
but
shoot him at the end,
you did. Yeah, what to even say about Bullseye? I do think
right?
he's a really good example of like if someone is seen doing cool stuff, people will forgive them of anything. Because people were like, oh, like, and yes, he had amazing sequences. That diner fight
Yes,
was
that
like
was top
so
tier.
good.
Very
But
well
it's like
done.
people are like, oh, I really want like a spin-off of just him now. And I'm like, guys, like he is
Did you
still
hear
not a good guy.
did you listen to any of the Daredevil Born Again official
I
podcasts?
didn't know.
Okay, you gotta go back and listen to them. The is it like that's the showrunner Dario Scardapone, is that his name? Scardapane. Um,
Sounds close.
he
Yeah.
was talking about how his wish is to do a Punisher Bullseye special. So I
Really?
don't know, we'll see.
Huh.
Um, but as far as Bullseye, like this season really did a lot of justice to Bullseye in the sense that like it made him very interesting. Like every scene with him was very compelling. So props to the actor Wilson Bethel and also to the writers and everything, the cinematographers, the stunt workers. Like it was top tier. It couldn't have been better. Like it almost makes me wonder which was better, Netflix season 3 or Born Again season 2. Like they were both like
He
up
played,
here
yeah, he
for
played such a
Bullseye.
big role in both of those. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I think it's really interesting because, yeah, season three of Daredevil showed that like he needs that North Star to figure out what he's doing in life. And like in this, he basically chose retribution as his focus. And it's just he's a really interesting character in that like he he doesn't get people. Like he does not understand.
He
Like
is
he can't connect
psychopathic.
on that. Yeah, he can't connect on that level, but he can like, oh, this is a thing that I'm supposed to do, so now I will do it with all of my being. And that's very compelling, but like he's he's still awful.
Yeah,
Um I mean,
I
but yeah, it's
I think in this moment in time, a lot of people, we're seeing, wild abuses of, ICE agents running through our streets, kidnapping people, killing people. I think a lot of people got an emotional release seeing Bullseye come after the task force in this show. Um, and specifically, like he stopped killing innocent people and he started focusing
did,
exclusively
yeah.
on the baddies. And that was an interesting choice. 'Cause, like Bullseye in the comics, we know is pretty crazy. Like he's just He's not
Yeah, no,
that deep.
totally different character. Like
Yeah.
he is despicable in the in the comics. Like he is, yeah,
But here he actually has more character, I would say, like more humanity even. It's kind of
yeah. It's
strange.
a more
Like
nuanced take than the comics for
yeah.
sure.
And like even that scene where like it was that scene, I think it was episode 4, like so we see him like, cooking breakfast in his apartment to some Billy Joel music and like I'm like he gets a egg cooking scene. Like we've seen Wilson Fisk cooking
That's
his
true.
eggs, his
Yeah.
omelets, his egg white omelets, and then now we get to see Bullseye with his sunny side up, fried eggs and his expert flipping technique.
He is a scene stealer, so I think it was fun to give him, yeah, like, oh, let's
And
give him one of those.
then I was like, if you just made yourself breakfast, why are you going to a diner?
He had to get that milkshake.
He had to get that milkshake, but also we then came to see it was part of his plan to
Yeah.
kind of like take out more ice, more
I
AVTF
ATV,
agents.
yeah, yeah. I love his delivery on the he's like, it's Frank Castle. He's like, oh shit, he's got a gun. And just the way he said it was like so nonchalant. I'm like, oh, come on, man, sell it at least.
I think he talked about that on the podcast as well as the
I
actor. He was
need to
saying
watch that.
he,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, basically it kind of shows how like Bullseye in his mind he thinks he's selling it, but like everyone else is like that, like sir, like you sound like a robot. Like what are you like? Most people would be scared if Punisher was there,
Yeah,
but like
he's just like,
Bullseye
oh
is
look,
not going to be
there he
scared.
is. Yeah. Uh,
That
yeah, it
should have been
reminded
like that
it
should have been the
reminded me
first tip off to the cops that something was up.
something's
And
off. Yeah.
And then like he did it again in the finale. I'm like, sir, why did you let everyone know that you were there about to assassinate Kingpin? Like you would have gotten away with it if you hadn't said, actually, I'm the real Bullseye is here now. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Uh,
He is so silly. Like
it
he
reminded
lets
me of
he
how
lets his
he
persona
go
get in
ahead,
the
sorry.
way of his kills. Like
Yeah, he can't stop himself in some ways, but his like flat delivery of that reminded me of in season 3 whenever he's like learning the right thing to say to people when he's like that's really hard like
on the
for
script,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah, where he's like, "Oh, this is the thing that you're supposed to say in this situation." Yeah, he's really interesting. I do think he's kind of a standout
yeah.
character for this
And
season.
then he had a lot of great scenes. Like so in that diner scene when he said, I'm the good guy. Like, don't worry. That was
After
crazy.
just the most merciless slaughters. Like, ah, don't worry, guys. Like,
Yeah,
you really shouldn't have your dog in here.
yeah, and then like the whole scene where Karen was like about to kill him, and then Daredevil had to show up at the last minute to stop her. Like, there was a lot of back and forth with Bullseye. Like I loved how they set up the parallel between like they had that flashback episode where we actually see Foggy come back, and um, Foggy had this retroactive storyline where he was trying to save, a criminal friend that he, well, not friend, but someone he grew up with. Um, and that was, and he showed him mercy in a way that Matt felt he had to show mercy to Bullseye. And I thought that was good for exploring the character drama. I don't know how well it fits in terms of like the overall continuity of things because I remember Foggy being, a little bit more of like we gotta actually pay our bills, and Matt
Yeah,
being the
he's
one who was like, we have to,
yeah.
take on these pro bono clients.
Yeah,
But
they kind of flipped the dynamic there because Foggy was usually more pragmatic. And I guess maybe it's supposed to be like, oh, here was this one bit where he was like doing the thing that I was supposed to do. So it
right,
kind of works, but I do see that like, yeah, that felt like they kind of just turned the dynamic the other direction and it was a little off. Also, I don't know about that wig for Foggy in that.
I mean, flashback wigs are always terrible. Like
I
like
was
if
about to
you
say
like if you
we're
watch
about to
any show like How to Get Away with Murder, Arrow, like now Daredevil, like it's kind of it's almost makes it better when like every show has terrible wigs.
well, I was about to say we're about to get to Buck, and I don't know about his flashback wig
Oh
either.
my gosh. Yeah, like that was something like let's see. So any other thoughts about Bullseye before we move on?
I think that's it. I don't know how he's gonna play into the next season or yeah, if at all, like it feels like they set up for him to do more or to like run off to a different project, which would be cool. Like
I think
showcase some other Marvel villains or heroes. But
I've
yeah.
heard rumors that people want him to be on the Thunderbolts, but I don't know how that would work out in terms of the MCU.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I also I was really perplexed by how he ended up with Mr. Charles at the end because I'm like while that makes sense in some regards, if Bullseye is on this, I'm only going to kill bad guys. Maybe he's trusting Mr. Charles to
To
point
choose
out the
the bad
bad
guys
guys, to choose the
correctly.
bad guy,
Yeah.
as if Mr. Charles himself isn't a bad guy. Like I
Yeah,
don't
I was
know.
confused about that as well as the fact that Luke Cage was working for him.
Yeah,
Like that feels
it's
off. So I'm like, he must be like a much more gray area thing normally, but the whole gun running thing really makes that feel like he's just bad. So yeah, I want
so
more of the Mr. Charles character. Like that's what I
so
need
let's
to
talk about him for a
understand him
second.
more.
Like this
Yeah, yeah.
season brought in Matthew Lillard as Mr. Charles, who works for the agency, which seems like a CIA Black Ops type of agency,
Yeah.
but we don't know for sure. But he was very, first of all, every time he speaks, to me he sounds like Shaggy. Like I hear Shaggy because he voiced Shaggy and he played Shaggy for so many years, so it's like I'm used to him being Shaggy. It was just really
Right, you expect
funny.
him to be like Zoinks, Fisk.
Yeah,
Um,
like he was even in this show, he was eating snacks and being lighthearted, even despite the tense situations he was in. So it's like, and he was getting under Fisk's skin and
yeah,
pissing him off.
it was fun. He was very like hard to read for everyone, and I think he played that really well. But I want to know more about who he's supposed to be.
Yeah, like is he supposed to be someone from the comic books? We don't know yet. And then on top of that, I do wonder why he thinks he'll be safe from Bullseye. Like why wouldn't Bullseye kill him? We'll have to find out. What is he holding over? Is it like an Amanda Wallace
Yeah,
situation?
like why he thinks he has that control of him. I He might just be extremely convincing.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Maybe Bullseye just needs a North Star that badly. Like now it's going to be Mr. Charles for the next season. We'll see. But yeah, I they definitely set some of that up for next season. Let's see. Bullseye. I also really liked when he killed the fake Bullseye. Like I in the last episode, I was like, "What is going on?" Because like after seeing a whole season of him taking out AVTF agents, then we see him working with some, and then we realize, oh, that's a fake Bullseye and it's a trap, and they're trying to set him up. And like it was just a lot of interesting
Yeah,
things going
I
on.
thought it was a weird call there too. Not weird, but yeah, I was expecting again it to be like a Buck Bullseye showdown. So the random like fake Bullseye just felt like a
Well,
just an extra inclusion.
as good as Buck is, I don't think he's on Bullseye's level. Like Buck is good at his job.
Yeah,
Like
unless
he's
they reveal that he's like a metahuman in some way, which it doesn't seem like they would do that, or like he's got powers
well,
somehow. I don't think they would do that, but that
that's
would
the
be like the
weird thing.
equalizer to me. I mean, Bullseye is like so ridiculously accurate. He seems like he has
Yeah,
superpowers.
like that's the weird thing about this show. Like Bullseye seems like a mutant. Fisk seems like a mutant, but neither of them have been confirmed of being mutants.
Yeah, Fisk throwing people around like ridiculous. Yeah, and
But
just Bullseye like the force he puts behind his projectiles. I get accuracy, but like he's so powerful.
right,
It
like
feels
they might
like
as well just go ahead and say everybody's a mutant. But like
yeah,
short of
just
doing that, we just
hand
have
wave it.
these exceptional characters. Like Bullseye has survived death like several times.
Yeah,
Like all I'm saying is, I think that Buck has shown skill. Like when he shot those two guys like in an instant before
crazy
they could shoot
fast.
him.
Yeah,
Like yeah, like he like that was impressive. Um, but one on one versus Bullseye, I think Bullseye hasn't beat.
I think so
Um,
too. But I thought they were trying to build him as like a oh they're gonna have a showdown or like they're comparable, but obviously Bullseye is better, so it'd be like an injured Bullseye versus Buck or something like that. Because I was thinking that whenever Matt saved Bullseye, that like Bullseye would kind of be hurt the rest of the season, and then it would be on more of an even playing field against Buck, but they didn't go that
And that's what I'm
direction.
saying. Like, it seems like Bullseye has some Wolverine style healing powers.
He does bounce back like way too
Like, he got
fast.
shot in the gut. Um, he fell off a building last season. Like, well, Matt pushed him off. So I don't know. Like, it's just sometimes you can't think about stuff too much, but
Yeah, for sure.
it's interesting to watch. I love the turning of the tables. You know, everyone like that's why I do believe Elektra could come back, but we'll just have to wait and see. Um, so let's talk a little bit about um, let's talk about Fisk. Let's talk about the Fisks,
The
Wilson
fists,
and
yeah.
Vanessa. Um, so we're coming off of season one where Bullseye was trying to kill them, but Matt took the bullet for Wilson, and then so now Wilson is in the position of like having to call Matt a hero publicly, but
Which
Matt
is
is still
interesting.
missing, and then but Daredevil is very active, and so Wilson has decided to keep this secret, and it's just very interesting. I think so. Wilson is the mayor. He's been the mayor since last season. His reign of terror just gets stronger and stronger every episode until you know Bullseye finally gets his revenge against Vanessa. Like Vanessa, all season she was afraid. Like she was like watching her back. She's like,
Yep,
I
she was
got this
looking over her
feeling.
shoulder all
She was having
season.
nightmares. Yeah, and so it was inevitable that Bullseye was going to want to come back and finish the job, which he did. Um, and yeah, that episode was crazy. Like,
Yeah, the episode where it happened, and then whenever the following episode where it looked like she was recovering, the end of that episode, like the music, the direction of it all was so good. Like I was sad at the end of it, and like I don't like these characters as people, but I do like them a lot as characters, and just that ending for them was rough, but I think they did a great job showing it.
yeah, like I did not feel bad for them at all, but I did appreciate just the amount of acting that they brought to the table
Yeah.
and what the writers gave to them because like it really had a lot of the audience guessing like is she dead? I mean like she looked really dead when
Like, oh, it
Bullseye
looks like she's
like
fine. Yeah.
so Fisk had this big boxing match where it was kind of a trap for Bullseye. They knew Bullseye was going to show up. Bullseye did show up. He threw one of the glass statues in that direction. Fisk blocks it, but the
And then
glass breaks and the shard ends up like lodged in her temple, which to most people that's like a
that's
killing
over. Yeah,
blow, like
yeah.
it's a mortal wound. So we but we didn't see her like die. Like the episode cuts off before, so we were left that week wondering like, is she dead? Is she still? Are they gonna
Yeah.
save her? And so then we get the next episode where she's in the hospital, she's in critical condition. Fisk is like losing his mind over worrying about her, and then she finally wakes up, and they have a moment. We find out that her memory is not good. Like she's got some amnesia, um,
Yeah,
but she
that
still
was that was
recognizes
heartbreaking too.
Wilson. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was really well acted.
And then you wonder, like, well, is she just gonna have amnesia for the rest of the
Yeah, like
season?
is this just gonna be a sad thing that they cut back to now and then?
And then she asks for some pineapple juice randomly, and like then everyone's starting to think like, what, like Fisk says that she's allergic to pineapple juice. It's like, is this the thing that kills her, or is it just like a random thing? Like, is it just to show that her memory was not good, that she forgot she was allergic? Like, I don't know, but she ends up dying very soon after, and
Yeah.
Fisk is inconsolable, and like literally because the doctor comes to hug him in the next
Oh my
episode,
gosh.
made the
Yeah.
worst mistake of he could possibly make. Like, oh my god, that doctor was
I would just hide. If that happens, just get far away. Don't try to be like, "Hey, we did everything we could," and because then Vince is gonna be like, "Well, it wasn't good enough." Or worse, you try to give the man a hug. Don't do it. Bad move.
like and the way the writers wrote what that doctor had to say, it made you sympathize with this because you're like, why would you say
Yeah,
this to someone
say
whose
don't
wife
say
just
anything.
died?
Yeah, exactly. Like don't, dude, what are you doing? You're just like watching it
Because
in
like
horror.
we
You're like, no,
all
don't do it.
the blackness of death comes for us all. It's beautiful and like sir, like what are you saying? Like just shut up. Just go
Yeah,
out the
it was like
room.
the Interstellar meme where you're like behind the the bookcase and you're like, don't.
Don't
But
do
you
it.
can't communicate.
That was crazy. So um so Vanessa dies and it's 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 kind of the start of Fisk's downfall. Like he after that you could say his heart is not really in it. Like he's still the mayor, he's still trying to hold on to power, but and he's still killing people. But I think after that point,
Yeah, there's just
he
like
didn't
a
have much to
shift.
fight for.
Yeah, he's like hollow after that. Like he's still going
Yeah.
through the motions of like, oh, I'm still, holding on to my power and I'm much angrier, but like it's everything's just more empty for him. And I like that there's not like a moment where he's just outright saying that. Like you can see it all through the acting and what he does that like, no, he's broken now. Like everything's a little off. He's not as competent with what he's doing, but also like yeah, he just loses a lot of what makes him work. And I think that was done really well. To jump back to the earlier in the season, Fisk, and just like him getting away with everything, carrying over from the season before is like, whew, it was rough, like, but it feels very true to life. The boxing match where like his brutality is fully on display and then people are cheering for him,
He
that's a
killed his
very
coach.
real thing.
It looked like he also killed his opponent in the match. We don't find out for sure, but it looked like he was,
Yeah,
if not
and
dead, in critical
everyone
condition.
is yeah, there's like a bit
Yeah,
of
like
flight. Yeah, and then man, it's yeah, and also just the beginning of the season when everyone's like, "Hey, everything is like safer now that we're under the boot of this man
oh
and
my
we're
god,
fully
yeah,
accepting it." And I'm like, "Oh, that's I mean, it's so
very true to
real."
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you got
Um
people who will defend him no matter what, and people who hate him and know what criminal activity he's up to,
or
and
yeah, they even had some people that were like, "Oh, like I never really liked him or whatever, but like he's getting results and everything." And I'm like, "Oh, that's yeah." I mean, the man on the street interviews were very true to life.
yeah. And so this kind of would be a good way to transition into talking about BB Urich because like she was the one making both the propaganda videos and the anti-propaganda videos, like the resistance videos. So it's like we find that out pretty early in the season, and that's why I say this season was good because they didn't leave things on the hot for too long. Like I was surprised that by episode 3, they were breaking people out of the prisons. They were revealing that BB was, uh, the underground
Yeah,
kingpin
the
in the
prison
mask.
break coming that early was a big surprise to me, actually, too, because I just didn't expect it. It seemed like something that maybe in another show they would have drawn out as like a
To the
big
finale.
season
Like
point.
like
Yeah.
that could have been a finale thing in and of itself, but it was great. It was like they did that whole scene in like what looked like one shot. It was so good. It was like I
It was
love that.
cool. It was really,
And then you get to see Swordsman too fight with
yeah,
with
that was
Matt.
fun. I wasn't
Little
expecting
team
to
up.
like actually like him as much as I did. I was like, oh, he's fine. Like I didn't love
Yeah.
him. Obviously, he's got his issues too, because he's also like kind of part of the corrupt thing, but he's also trying to do a good thing.
No,
Um,
like he wasn't that corrupt. Like he actually told
he
Fisk that he was
wasn't.
not going
Yeah.
to work with him. He like that's the reason he was arrested in the first place. 'Cause he rejected
He said
the
no.
corruption deal. So
Yeah, he was a little shady because I think my feeling was that he's shady because he's rich. I think
oh
my
yeah, well
brain
there's that. Yeah, there's that.
automatically sorts him that way, but like,
Also,
yeah,
Hawkeye. In Hawkeye, he was like,
he was
it
kind
was
of
kind
a
of,
little
it was
weird. Yeah.
like yeah, like was he bad? Like I know that young Hawkeye was suspicious of him.
Suspicious of him, and I think I just kind of kept carrying that
I
too.
can't remember how that worked out. I think it
Played
was his
off.
uncle who was the bad guy or something. I don't
Yeah, it
know.
wasn't fully
Um,
him. He was just
or
kind
or
of
the
like a weird.
mom maybe. Like the
Yeah.
mom might have been more criminal than Swordsman.
Um,
But I have to go back and revisit it. But
Me too. It's been a long
um,
time.
but basically, um, I want to go back to we were talking about the fight
Fisk.
and before that we were talking about the Fisks. Um, yeah, like Fisk was definitely. Oh, we were talking about BB. That's why I really wanted to go back and talk
Yes,
about.
yeah, yeah.
So she's doing both of these things. Um, BB was getting in deeper with Daniel this season, like using him as you know, she was trying to use him to get information for her, you know,
Yeah.
endeavors.
I was surprised that like she was that connected with him though, actually. Like I thought she was gonna have like a that whole like, yes, I'm using him as an informant type thing, like unbeknownst to him, but I thought she would have more of like a wall up there and it'd be more of like a like playing him more obviously, but she really did like fully care about him too. Like I think more than she even realized at the beginning, like it just actually
Well,
became a thing.
I like how they showed how their feelings grew and changed over time
Yeah,
for both of
it
them
was dynamic.
because like for like I think Daniel was into her long before she was into him.
Yeah.
But I feel like she was always playing both sides. She's kind of like in the head space where like, well, if I fake it, then maybe if I feel it, like
Yeah.
if I like she's lying to herself. I think like she's like like when I'm with Daniel, we're
I'll
friends, we're
play along.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But the second I leave the room, I'm texting, my sources and leaking everything. So it's like, um, I I never wanted BB to get with Daniel. I was like,
No, me neither. I
I was
was
like,
waiting
girl,
for the
stay
turn
safe.
of
Your
yeah.
uncle was killed by Fisk. Like I
That's
love
why
that
I was
scene. That
surprised she got that close to him, like
yeah,
actually didn't just
yeah.
pretend to get that close. But yeah, I was expecting her to be like safer, basically.
Like I love that scene Karen had with BB where they were just talking about everything, and like I love that they really brought that back because so many other shows would just forget about it and be like, oh,
Hmm.
that was that was a whole different show.
That was
but
another show,
but
yeah.
here but here they were like, Karen still carries guilt, like survivor's guilt over what happened with Ben, as she should. And I think that I love that she was looking out for BB, trying to give her some advice, trying to, warn her that this is a serious game.
Yeah.
And BB, I don't know if she took the advice. I mean,
I feel like not really. I think it was in the back of her mind, and she's like, "No, I'll get a little closer than that." Um,
like people I've seen people blame BB for what happened to Daniel, and I don't really see it that way
and
because
yeah,
like like she did what she was intending to do all along. Like and like she didn't pull the gun. She didn't pull the trigger. So like blame Buck. That's my point of view.
yeah.
But
Well, also like I know they would have been like found or whatever, and he was like buying time for her to get out. But at the
mhm.
same point, like you know who Buck is. Don't go into that situation, Daniel. Like I know he kind of changed his mind at the last minute, but I don't know. It was a little. It was surprising when they killed him off.
Yeah, like
I
did you
was
hear that
surprised
they did write another
where
ending?
he
Like
didn't. Yeah,
yeah, so like I'm fine with how it ended. I mean, it is sad, but you know, I I think I was much happier to see that BB survived. Because if BB was killed, I would stop watching this show. I'm telling you, like I'm still mad about Ben dying in season one. Like Ben is still alive in the comics, so like for him to
yeah.
have died in season one, I'm like, this is unacceptable.
I mean, changes from characters. We definitely
Yeah.
have a few of those in this with
So
Cole.
I'm yeah. So
That's a
we'll
big
talk about
shift.
that in a bit. But like
Yeah.
I'm glad that BB survived. I do think that you know to her credit, she hadn't leaked anything since the hospital, which probably wasn't that long ago in terms of the timeline. But
Yeah.
but like you know, if she leaked the thing about Vanessa being in critical condition, which is still undetermined because like any news reporter could just guess that.
Yeah, like what proof did you have? They're like,
Like,
"Oh, but this has been leaked." That it's like, well, I'm sure there were other outlets that also leaked that with no information just
but
because
let's
it'll get you clicks.
yeah, but for plot purposes, let's assume that she did leak it. I mean,
Mhm.
the clues are there,
Yeah.
the likelihood is there. So she did leak that, but then she did not leak the testimonies that Karen was waiting on her to leak. Like when Angela passed off the footage to her friend who passed it off to BB. She kept it in her pocket. It was still in her pocket when Daniel found it like the next day. So it's like, so all that stuff she was holding on to. She was and then when they went to visit Daniel's mom, she was still hesitating. She was about to text Ellison, she didn't. So like, I want to point that out because people are like, people were blaming her for Buck killing Daniel, but I'm like, why was Buck killing Daniel in the first place? Like, were
Yeah,
the
like
leaks
the
that bad? Was it that a criminal? Like, was this something anyone needed to
That's
die
true.
for? Like,
Yeah. And
doesn't Buck
also
have bigger things to
everyone was
do?
gonna find out. Yeah, it's
I have a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, we just know that it doesn't take much for Fisk to kill you, or to
yeah.
have someone else kill you. So
I wonder what kind of role BB plays in the next season.
yeah, because like
That'll be
things are,
interesting.
it'll be a different game. Like Daniel's not around. She's Buck is still around, but
Buck is still around.
Kingpin is not around.
I like the framing device of the man on the street interviews. I think that works really well for the show, but they probably won't do that as much next season since I don't know, they might just to
I
like
think they'll
show
bring it
a
back.
change of the leadership in the city or whatever.
Like at the end of the season, we see that BB gets a job. Like they brought back Ellison.
They
He gets a little
did.
cameo, and he's like, here's a box of stuff that your uncle, like his famous articles, and you can have his office." And like, wow, this
Yeah.
like nepltism really works sometimes.
It's alive and well.
Like, I do imagine a plot line for BB next season where she's like not a full-on journalist like her uncle was, more like a social media journalist.
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
does she even have a degree? Like, I don't know, but we'll
I
have to
feel
wait
like
and
she
see.
does. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember during her
She
introduction last
she
season what
strikes
they
me
said
as
about her.
like an influencer type of journalist. She had like the TikToks and like the BB on the street. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And that's not an insult, really, because like a lot of influencer journalists
No,
are telling more truth than the mainstream media these days,
and
it
it's
seems.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah. For
and,
sure.
and it's not safe work. So like that's why I have respect for her to have like go out there and like just like her uncle risk
Well, and she
herself.
had proof that he's
And now
like
that
one of the most dangerous people to be going against, and
yeah,
she still had to do it because it was the right thing. Like very strong character morals.
so like that's why I don't feel so bad about Daniel because like he kept turning a blind eye the whole time. He was like,
Yeah, I
nah.
was expecting him if he didn't die to just keep getting worse. Like I did not see like a real
There was
path for him becoming a better person because you could see he was like, "Oh, I realize like how I can use power to get the things that I want." Like he would just start copying Fisk. Like he was going to go down a bad path had this not happened in my opinion.
there's a point where I was worried that Daniel was going to kill BB, like
He
with his
was
bare
given yeah, he
hands.
was given vibes.
Like yeah, like I he because we knew he was on to her, and we just had to figure out like how in with Fisk is he? How much is he going to try and prove himself? But I'm glad he did the right thing in the end. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah.
And it came at a great cost. Like that's terrible. Like for his mother to lose her son. Like it's happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Well,
And then it was his birthday too. It was Daniel's
yeah.
birthday. It was
Oh
so they
man.
really like twisted that knife of like we're
They
gonna make you
really
feel
did.
bad about this.
But yeah, both of those characters are really interesting in being like, how close can you get to power before it corrupts you? And like
Yeah.
he kind of got rescued at the very end, and then BB had to wrestle the whole season with like, well, how do I betray people that I care about, but also like protect the city? Like it was really interesting.
Yeah, like so many characters had to like walk that fine line of like, where do I break the law in order to do the right thing? And so I love that part. Okay, let's talk about the last episode with the trial, like the big old trial of Karen, where Matt, comes back in finally as the co-counsel. Kristen McDuffie is like lead counsel, and like I love that Kristen got stuff to do this season. Like she was doing her job, like she showed up to work, whereas Matt was like, she's like, where the hell is Matt? Like he's left me hanging.
I
But
know she had to carry everything for so
yeah,
long.
but he finally came through at the end, and that trial was epic. Like, were you as blown away as I
It was
was?
really fun. I don't know what my favorite part of it was. There was like the back and forth was really good. I think whenever Matt's in the chambers talking to the judge and Fisk is talking to him
Oh my
knowing he can
God.
hear, I'm like, that was amazing. I do think it was hilarious that Matt answered him out loud
Yes, that
because
was
I'm
so
like, well,
funny.
Fisk can't hear you back. And they were like, what? It was funny, but just the moment whenever Fisk like cuts in and starts talking to him, I'm like, yeah, because he knows,
Like,
like,
of course,
yeah,
Wilson would whisper sweet nothings into Matt's ear because only Matt could hear it. Like, and
yeah,
he's
it was
like,
good.
I love that they have this intimate relationship that is like extremely violent. Like,
Well, yeah,
it's
I was about
not.
to say they understand each other more than like anyone else in their lives could ever understand them. Like they are the most important people to each other in their
Yeah,
lives at that point. So it's yeah, it's they
like
have crazy
when
bond.
Vanessa died, Matt was the first one to show up. Be like, I'm sorry for your loss. Like other than the doctor, of course.
It didn't work out that well for the doctor. The doctor did
Yeah.
not say it as well as Matt.
I
Let me
mean,
put it
even
that
Matt
way.
got his ass beat. Like it was pretty violent. But yeah, but he got a few good licks in too. So
He
like
did.
yeah,
That one was a pretty even fight, I would
yeah.
say.
And neither of their hearts were in it. Like Kingpin was like, "Why are you even here? What are we
Yeah,
gonna
we
do? Like you're
both
not
of them
gonna
were
kill
like,
me.
yeah.
You're not gonna send me to jail. Why are you even here?
And Matt's like, I don't know. Like
I
honestly,
don't
Matt didn't have an answer for him. He's
know."
like,
He did not have a
I have to
plan.
keep yeah, he's like, I have to keep beating you up, I guess. Like this is he said it like this is not gonna stop until we both leave the city or one of us leaves. Like, and we both won't because we both love the city too much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it
It
took a
was
lot
yeah, they were
more
both so frustrated.
convincing. Yeah. But like that court scene though, like of course the top tier moment was I am Daredevil and like it harkens back to, Iron Man where he revealed his identity to everyone in his press
Yeah.
conference. But only Daredevil could do it in this way. Like I love the way his line of questioning led him to make this reveal. Like he almost seemed like he was pushing Kingpin to reveal it. Like Kingpin was like, I know where you're going with this, and
But
I'm
yeah,
willing to
you're
walk
not
down
gonna
this
do
road
this.
with you. But
Yeah,
like
he's like,
you don't want to do this though. Think about it before you do it. Like, it was very
yeah, he
interesting to
was playing
watch.
chicken with him. Yeah, he was just like, "Are
Yeah,
you gonna do it? Like, are you trying to make me do it?" Or yeah, um,
and like I think that scene was so well written because like I had heard complaints that people were complaining that Matt was not in the courtroom this season, and I'm just like, well, that's how you build the arc.
yeah, it wasn't
Last
gonna
season
work
he
with the
was,
story. Yeah,
in this season he wasn't until he came back. So like he had like this that trial at the final episode had more impact because he was out of the courtroom for so long, and like so
no, he built his case throughout the season to go back to,
yeah.
so it worked for me. Oh, I really, what was the name of the Fisk's lawyer?
Um,
I
D.A.
despise him.
Hawkberg, yeah,
Yeah,
Hawkberg, he was terrible.
he's really
Like
annoying.
the way, like yeah, he was just fully
Just so
corrupt. Like
smug about it. Once he realized, like, oh, I'm on the side that wins no matter what, like, he just became a system guy where he's like, I don't care. Like,
yeah,
we'll win.
and Fisk had everybody in his pocket: the
He
lawyers,
did. It
the
was, yeah.
judges, the cops. Like the a whole AVTF came in to intimidate everybody in the courthouse. Like it was,
Yeah, that was pointed.
yeah, like it was, like the way Fisk was running New York is not too different from how other politicians are trying to run things right now. But I'm not going to get into that too much because I will go on a rant.
Yep.
Um, so let's talk about. Uh, so I do think how that trial ended. Like I do think it might be a legal loophole because Matt revealed himself and he wasn't the one under oath. Like he wasn't taking the witness stand.
That's
Like
true.
he did kind of like reveal that Daredevil was a witness to the crime
Yeah.
on the Northern Star on the boat, and that he was Daredevil, and so like he can corroborate, what happened.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty
But
smart way to
yeah,
write
I feel
that.
like he can. I feel like season three he could still try to lie or try to lawyer his way out of things, but we do see that he goes to jail at the end, which is a crazy flash forward. Like how come we saw Karen's trial but we don't see Matt's trial? Are we ever going to see Matt's trial? How did Matt even have a trial if all the judges were corrupt and the mayor had to be had to
And
resign?
and realistically, this would have taken months to go to trial, but Yeah.
I,
Um,
I I think the showrunners have said that um the next season will take place a year or so later. So
okay.
maybe these final scenes of this season were like a flash forward. Like maybe they'll kind of like fill in the blanks of
Well,
how we
they're
got
really
from
smart.
A to
Yeah, they're
B.
really smart to not say like how long his sentence was for or anything like that, because they can always fill that in later. They just
Because like
got to the point of like, oh, he's in jail.
because there
And
have
so
to
are
be
all
some
the
trials.
ABTF. That's
Yeah,
shocking.
yeah.
Yeah.
If all of them went to jail and so did Matt, I'm like, we missed a lot. You can't just skip over that. Not after that epic trial that we just saw. Like,
Yeah.
but
Oof.
I mean, but stylistically, it was a cool ending. Like you get the devil in cell block D. He's taken into
Yeah,
like
I really want to see
solitary.
that in live action. I want to see him with the mask in the orange jumpsuit. It'll
That could
make me
be
so
cool.
happy.
That could be cool. Like yeah, there's two storylines in the comic books where he goes to jail. Like there's that one by Chip Zdarsky, and then there's the one before with Brubaker where
Hmm.
he goes to jail
I don't think I've read the
after
Brubaker one.
that was the first time he went to jail. I think they'll probably combine the storylines
Most
for next
likely, or
season,
just take inspiration from him.
but I guess my point is like it does matter why he went to jail. I think like you can't just say he's in jail now.
Yep. And also he's in
Like
jail because of the vigilante laws. That's it. It's like,
yeah, like there's a lot of things about this season. Like as much as I enjoyed watching the season, you know, I try not to have my over analytical brain on, but I do have questions. I do think there are plot holes, and like there are things that are meant to be unsatisfactory, but there's also things that you just have to ask:
why
why did
didn't
they
you do
make this
this? Yeah.
choice? Like why did Fisk get exile, and
Yeah,
why is Matt in
I
prison?
was gonna, yeah, bring up that. Well, I figured it was gonna come up, but it is like, I get the whole like, oh, he's a corrupt politician, they can get away with all these things, but like, he actively murdered a bunch of people in the courthouse, and I feel like that's a lot harder to just be like, oh, now he's on an island. If they had showed that like he was in prison somewhere, but it wasn't that bad, that would be one thing. But it seems like him just like, oh, he's in exile, he can't be in New York anymore, which is like the biggest heartbreak for him outside of losing Vanessa. So like he lost, but the fact that he got a scene of like his hallway fight where he murders a bunch of people in Daredevil costumes,
It's all
it's a
very
little
wild.
unsatisfactory to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
But
me too. Like,
I knew this was going to happen this season, or I worried in our last video when we talked about Daredevil season or Daredevil Born Again season one. I brought up like, oh, how do you resolve this in a way that feels satisfactory when it's like a corrupt government versus the people? How do you do that with like, because in real life we don't have an answer to that. How do you cover it in the show? And I don't know that they nailed it, but I don't know that they could have. Like, I don't think there's a good answer, so they did the best they could as like, oh, look, Fisk lost, but it's realistic in that he's not suffering the full consequences of that. That feels true to
yeah,
life, but it also
yeah,
doesn't feel great. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the ending exactly.
yeah. Like it was a great episode. Like the finale episode was great. Like a lot of Marvel TV shows have been criticized for their endings. Um, I think some of the earlier ones more than the latter ones, but I liked most of it. Okay, we got a friend joining us, so let's welcome our
What?
friend Travelle. Yep, he's not too late. A little bit late, but not too late. All right, let's see. Travelle, are you here? Can you hear us?
I am. Sorry
Hey,
about
There you
that.
hey.
are.
Hey
Hey man,
guys,
good to
sorry
see you.
about
Welcome.
that.
Glad you could
Good to
make
see
it.
you. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. I had a lot of things going on with my kid. My little one is not feeling well, so I was
Oh,
trying to get. I'm sorry about that.
No worries. Like, do what you gotta do. Like, family first. But we're glad you couldn't make it, and we hope you have some time to share some of your thoughts on Daredevil. We've been chatting for the
Yeah.
last hour and a half, so um,
Mm.
um,
Whoa.
I will um, I will say we were just talking about the finale and
Ah.
how just our thoughts on it. Like, do you want to give us some of your overall thoughts, or do you want to
Yeah.
start with the
Yeah.
finale?
I actually think that the finale. It was really great. I think that there was a lot of things that like it reminded me a lot of like Fraction's run, the most recent run. That's like one of my favorite
Oh,
Daredevil
Z-
comics like
Zdarsky?
runs. Yeah, it's my bad, not Fraction. Yeah, Zarsky run, Chip Zarsky's run. I got them mixed up because I know him and Fraction they work together a
Yeah,
lot.
they're buds.
They're
Yeah,
buds. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I really thought it was fantastic. That little nod to it is. I was actually surprised that I thought it was brilliant the way that the like sort of like the double jeopardy worked with his identity in the courtroom. But I thought that they were going to take the route in which like they tried Daredevil, not Matt Murdock. So it's interesting to see that now the whole like world knows who he is. I'm curious to see how they're going to work with that
yeah,
for the next season. I think the biggest surprise to me was seeing Luke Cage. That
yeah.
actually like
Big
took me back
surprise.
a great deal,
We were
and I
both
think that
surprised too.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was a huge deal for me, especially like being a dad now. It was like huge for me to see him, especially in that role like that.
Yeah,
So I'm really curious to see like how they're going to bring all these characters back because I think that they're going to all get their own series soon. And I think that
I don't know. I don't think
yeah,
they're gonna get their own series like they did in
no,
Netflix. I think these are lean times for most industries. So like I
yeah,
think they're just gonna put everybody into Daredevil and see where
I
this
see what you mean.
I
goes.
See where
I
it
think there's
goes.
potential though if like people really love them in season 3 to be like, let's give them a Heroes for Hire show.
Yeah,
It's
Maybe
probably
there's
just
always
wishful
hope.
thinking. Yeah, it's probably just wishful thinking because I love Heroes for Hire. But
me
yeah,
too.
There's
we'll
always hope, but
see.
like but Danny Rand has been so poorly received.
He has
Overall,
it's
like
tough.
unless they do something next season to really endear him to most people, I
I
don't know
think
that
they
there's going to be a
could.
lot of demand.
I
They
think they
could.
really could with
I
like
think they could.
Yeah,
him or like Danielle Cage being named
Yeah.
after Danny. Like if they
yeah,
play
yeah. I
up
think that's
that
great.
bond, I think they
Like they've
could.
been leaning into the things that people like from the comics. So like if they keep doing that, it might be
His
good. Might
redemption
It's
run.
possible. Like I think that there's a lot to be said. I think that he's an important character in a certain particular way. I just think that it's a matter of like how you position him and for what reasons he's fighting. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that like his purpose around why he's fighting and what's is important to him. I think that depending on how that gets sort of like written about, I think that he will actually be really redeemable. I found that like the character that's was it Danny? I thought that character was like really annoying, and I thought the character served no purpose besides after when he dies,
you're talking
is
about
how that
Daniel, the
Daniel,
guy who was dating BB.
yeah, Dayton Beebe, right. I think the only reason he actually served any purpose really was to show and shout and showcase that, like, tell you the truth, that like white dudes could be decent. I really do think that like was like the main purpose of that character is to be like he's rising up in the ranks, like basically trying to like, he's aggrandizing all the things that Wilson Fisk does. He's trying to be just like him, and then he gets in a little bit too deep over his head, and he finds out like, wait a minute, this is not the type of person I want to be. And then by that time, it's too late. So it's a matter of it being, I think it's like a tale, like almost like a tale around like white guys or white aspirational guys in those spaces that want to be that sort of kingpin-esque sort of character or type of play that kind of role and then finding out that it's not really like aligning what they want to emotionally be like and like and coming to terms with that. I just think that Danny was that he was a better
I
person in
mean,
regards to that.
yeah,
And I
and we're
think they could
seeing
do
a
that with
lot
Danny
of
Rand.
yeah. Like we talked a lot about Daniel and BB before he came in, and
Mhm.
like that's a good point because like it is kind of similar to a lot of things we're seeing right now with a lot of the people who are falling out of love with Trump and the Trump cult and MAGA. Like there are people who have been like really who were in deep, but now they're seeing the consequences of the 2024 election. They're like, well, maybe I
Well,
made a mistake.
yeah, I think part of it is he got to know someone who is affected by Fisk policy. Like it
There you
was one of
go.
those things where like, oh, I see that this is actually going to hurt
Right.
people that I care about.
Exactly. That I
And
care
it's
about. Right.
yeah, just the fact that he had a connection with someone.
Right.
I see this is why I love whenever
but
you
but also he did
give
not care until it affected
Thank
him
you.
directly. Like he was
it's true.
Indeed.
he's like, what happened to your uncle? You don't know that Fisk killed him. And she's like, yes, I do, and you do too.
For
And
a
he's like,
fact. Yeah.
well,
Right.
but even that aside doesn't matter because like, what matters is that Buck is going to come kill us both now. Like is what he was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So like,
scared,
Seriously.
so now it matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it
yeah,
matters exactly because I'm scared. And that's the thing about BB is that BB's been scared from the beginning. Like she knows her uncle's dead. he's been killed by this man and like his forces. So she's been scared from the beginning. She's just brave. That's the difference. I think that
Yeah.
that's what gets discounted about, especially black women in those spaces, that just because they're being brave and putting themselves at risk, which she did, she also unfortunately by proxy put Daniel at risk. I mean, but he also was already in risk because he took up that role himself to like be
Yep.
within the campaign of Kingpin. So like by the time that she starts kind of like becoming brave and like trying to push against things, that's when like things start to collide and butt heads. Like that's what I'm saying. I think that she's like a really interesting character to kind of show like how like you were saying, Claude, like when people get too close to it, like they feel personally affected. That's when it like things change. Like, oh, it's a good looking woman. Like he liked her. He was trying to date her. The whole thing. Like he has to have he has to have some investment. It's not like he has to like see that this is like like ethically wrong to be like, all right, that's enough for me. That wasn't enough for him. It was
Yeah.
enough for him to like have to be, attracted to someone, have to be emotionally invested. He has to like, it's like that bullshit that people say about, what if it was your mother? What if it was your daughter that got raped? Or what if it was your
Like, well,
mother that,
yeah, it's like,
or
well,
blah,
you
blah,
should
blah,
care
blah.
before
You should
that,
care,
but
but thank you.
yeah,
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly
yeah,
it. It's
and
like you
it's
should
yeah,
care before that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he represents that as being like, oh, like he's like finally coming to terms with something that he could have probably come to terms with from the beginning, much sooner, and kept himself out of danger. But again, it's this woman, this black woman at that made him better, that actually held him to task and held him accountable. That's what women do. Like so, I think that that's why I said I feel like he's an annoying character. But then until he got killed, I was like, oh, that's the purpose of
I
that
see what he's
character.
there for.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
Like
I didn't clock that, but I
Mm,
definitely see that read now.
mm,
I was
I
saying,
said he was a vehicle for like showing the danger of getting close to power and then
mm,
deciding you want to get out.
mm,
But yeah, I mean, it's both things.
mm,
Sorry, go ahead,
yeah,
Freddie.
no,
mm,
and I was
mm.
saying before, like I was so glad that BB survived. Like if she was
Me
killed
too.
this season, I would have stopped watching because I was like,
Yeah.
like I do not want to see another woman being fridged. I do not want to see a black
Thank
woman
you.
being
Right.
killed. When like I was
Right.
still mad about Ben
Thank
being
you.
killed. Like so, it's
Hmm.
like stuff like that. Like I think that this show is being mindful about like we have to be sensitive to like what's going on in the real world, what's going on, in our show. Um, and they are thinking about these things, I think. Like
Hmm.
I think
Oh
it could have
yeah.
been a different turnout if they weren't thinking about these things.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely think so, and I'm actually conflicted about Vanessa's Fisk's death
Yeah,
because I
me
actually kind
too.
of thought it was women's refrigerators for a bit.
It
For a bit, I was like, that kind of
it's
is,
like
but then it's not.
yeah.
It's both. It's
Yeah.
yes and because it's also
Hmm.
like a cursory tale around like white women that just let like white men do whatever they do, and
Hmm.
then like the consequences fall back on them and they just kind of have to deal with it. It's the 52% of white women that voted for Trump. It's very much
Hmm.
in that vein with
Like
Vanessa Fisk.
and she was due her retribution. Like she was the one responsible for Foggy's death. Like she
Hmm.
manipulated Bullseye into killing Foggy. So like Bullseye was coming after her. Like and once you're in Bullseye's line of sight, you can't get out. Like he
Not gonna
is
be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gonna get you.
no,
So her time was running out, unfortunately. Like Claude and I were talking about earlier how this show is a show where people do die, and it does give the show stakes, and they
hmm,
kill women, but they also kill men. Like I think the fact that they brought back Ayelet Zura to play Vanessa Fisk when they were about to like recast
hmm,
her with the original reboot,
yeah,
like
hmm,
I think it extended her span of like because like we got to see the character come back. She was here for almost 2 seasons, and she got some stuff to do. She got some interesting scenes. She got some very interesting character work. Like that whole episode where she's like about to die. Like they could have
right,
killed her, the episode
yeah,
before, but they decided to extend it just that much longer to show us like, there is some depth here. There is
hmm,
interesting stuff happening. Um, I do want to point out that I found out this season
hmm,
that this okay, what I'm about to say could get us into tricky waters, but I'm going to say it anyway. I found
hmm,
out that the actress who plays Vanessa Fisk is Israeli, and I
hmm,
did not know this until recently. It's like, and what difference does it make? Is the question is like, is Vanessa Fisk intended to be an Israeli character, or is she just an ambiguous, white woman? Like, because it does make a
Hmm.
difference in terms of today's context. Like, I think,
Indeed, it does.
um,
Yeah.
like if she's being villainized, or even if she's not being, or if they're asking the audience to have sympathy for her. Like, I think either way, the more we look at the broader context of it, it's
Hmm.
interesting. That's all
No,
I'm
it
gonna say.
does. It does have to say a lot, but I think that also like I think it's a stroke of genius to like cast if she is Israeli, cast her in the role as a villain. That's if that's the case, if that's like really something that they were trying to go for, but I really don't know. I mean, like
Like, was it
I
intentional or
actually
was it
it wasn't intentional
coincidental?
or
I
was
don't
just I
know.
think
I
it's
think
it might be
probably
coincidental.
coincidental. Yeah,
Me
I
I
too.
think
felt
I
it's
think
like
the
most
same.
likely
I felt
coincidental.
like
Yeah,
early on, like in the original Daredevil series, she was just
yeah.
like a vaguely European woman.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, they might have factored it into the writing of this season, though. Like, just
Mhm.
like, oh, hey, by circumstance, this is a thing. Maybe
Right.
we play off of
But
that.
Maybe. I
it's
mean,
really interesting because
yeah.
I did read an article recently. She spoke out about how she's tired of trying to hide the fact that she's Israeli.
Wow.
Um, and it's just when you look at today's global conflicts, like it's definitely uh very sensitive issue. I don't want to say anything, too inflammatory, but I will say that you know it's just very interesting to see how people talk about the actress for Vanessa Fisk in comparison to like Gal Gadot. Like people trash Gal Gadot and they hate
Loathe
her
her.
acting. Like
Yeah.
like is does Ayelet Zora get a pass because she's a better actress, or do people just not know she's Israeli, or like what is it? Like
Yeah.
I don't know
To
what
be
the
honest, I think
context
it's
is.
honestly I truly think it's I mean to me it's like we safe safe to say for me I think it's because Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman because it's Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman is
That's a
is
good
a
point.
symbolism of all women in a lot of different ways and different shades and because she
See,
takes up that role it has
that's
Magnified.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
magnifies it,
interesting
yeah.
that you say that because like I wasn't even thinking about Wonder Woman. I was thinking about the
Mm,
fact that like people dogged on Gal Gadot for Snow White when she played the evil queen, and like
mhm.
and like um I have I'm probably in the minority opinion. Like I actually thought she did a good job. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't
I
agree with
never
her
saw that.
politics.
Me
I don't
neither,
agree with her
yeah.
politics, but I think the mark of a good villain is that it makes the audience hate them. Like we talked about this with Heather Glenn. Like
Hmm.
if you feel angry at the villain, maybe the actor's actually doing their job.
But like Hal crushing it this season because I still really wanted him to get wrecked.
But
Yeah,
Um,
at the same time,
yeah,
though,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like I'm gonna be honest. I feel like with Gal Gadot specifically, people come at her as an actress because of her accent. Like she has a noticeable accent, and maybe that
Yeah,
people think is
certainly.
bad acting. But at the same time, um, but then she has her politics on top of that. I think people conflate politics and acting. Like just because you have
Yeah,
bad
of course.
politics doesn't make you a bad
No,
actor, or
no,
just
no,
because
no, no,
or
no.
vice versa. Just because you have good politics doesn't make you a good actor. Like I feel like I don't like seeing people conflate the two. It's
I hear that. Hmm.
yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's hard for people to separate once they've got like their idea of a person, either like, oh, I already don't like them because I don't think they're a good actor, or I've attached this political meaning to them. It's hard for them to see any good after that once they are at a specific angle. So
So
it's
to bring it
tough.
back to Daredevil, I do think that Ayelet Zura has kind of like flown under the radar in terms of like her politics or
Yeah,
her
yeah,
identity.
certainly. Hmm.
But as far as that, though, but because people praise her acting, like people are like, yeah, she's amazing. Like people were feeling sorry for her and her death, and it's like, well, I didn't feel that sorry for her, but I also, you know, I like again on the topic of women in refrigerators. I don't want to see women just dying for the sake of a man's plot to like make him feel some type of way. So I don't
Right.
know. I have lots of complex feelings about this.
Yeah,
Me too. Me too.
I felt like
Yeah.
there wasn't, if they weren't gonna like stick with the season one thing of like her kind of being the kingpin while he ran office, I felt like they didn't really have anywhere else to go with her story
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's what I
she's just
thought.
next to Kingpin while he does stuff. So,
Right. Right.
I mean,
Right.
this may have been the best use for her. and it does
Well,
end
that's
up
the thing.
skewing this
That
storyline. But I think in this case, it kind of works for both of
I
them.
mean, that's the thing. We are here to watch Daredevil, and his number one enemy is Kingpin. Like at the end of the day, this show revolves around white men.
It's true.
Uh, Daredevil, Kingpin, Bullseye, even Buck to some degree, Daniel. Like, like, um, like,
Yeah, it does.
like there are other people in here. You've got Karen. Like how this show makes a lot of black people sympathize with a white woman named Karen is beyond me.
That's
like,
incredible.
like
Yeah,
she literally has a gun trying
that's
to kill people,
incredible.
and like everybody's like, no,
Yeah.
but go Karen, we're with
Go
you
Karen.
because
Yeah, no, it's true. Nah, you know what it is too? It's
Redeeming
like
the name
because
Karen.
I think
yes,
that Karen is really Karen Page is a very, very, very special character, especially how they actually revamped her story. I think the same thing goes for Bullseye, believe it or not, too. I really do love the way that he's contextualized in the show and how they actually
we
give him
talked
more
about that. Yeah,
dimensionality.
we
He's
agree.
so
Yeah,
much more dimensionality. Like he has so much more dimensionality as opposed to the comics. He's just some sadistic
Yeah,
fuck
he's got
in the
no nuance
comics.
in the
He's
comic,
no
yeah,
really.
nuance in the
Yeah.
comics. And this it was like fantastic the way he. I
yeah.
think since like after this, they're going to have to write him like this in the comics because
I
he's
think
so
they
good.
probably will make minor adjustments to
Yeah, made
pull
her
him in that
adjustments to
direction.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull him in that direction. But with
I
that
was
being said, yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Were you saying
Oh,
Claude? Go ahead. You saying?
I was saying that like him having really great action sequences is like the
Oh
best
yeah.
PR he could get
Oh
because
yeah,
people
certainly.
forgive a lot if he looks cool, but
If he
go ahead.
looks cool, yeah, he
Yeah.
look.
Yep.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Like he like really just looks cool. But I think that his like I think his like simplistic like sense of like of morals of like this like sort of like eye for an eye Confucius kind of ideas around like how he functions. I think with his skill, I think is something really compelling about that because the character can be pulled in different directions for different simple reasons, and you'll still want to see him like see how he gets out of what he gets out of, how creatively he gets out of it. So I think that that character that they gave him more dimension and it made him much more of a compelling character because of it. Before that, but honestly, before the show, like I only thought the Bullseye was compelling because of his because of what he can do, because he was actually such a formidable opponent to Daredevil because of what he could do with his power. But now I'm like, oh, the character, the person himself, like Dex, is interesting. Like
Yeah,
Dex is interesting now. So like now, but I think the same thing happened with Karen because Karen was very like Karen for a very long time was one dimensional. Has been one dimensional. Oh, I love Matt, but Matt's unavailable, and then she dies. But now it's like no, this is now in the show. It's like this is a woman that has undergone a lot of trauma, a whole lot of trauma, and now she's in a position in which she's like trying her best to like make sense of it and actually take back her agency around a lot of things. And I think that a lot of people, not just women but a lot of people, can identify with that and can actually
yeah,
like want to like want Karen to succeed because
yeah,
like they've been in a similar position around certain things, especially in nowadays. Like I was rooting for Karen, like as a black man I'm rooting for Karen, like yeah, get it, because like everything, our rights are being stripped, and everything around us is like actually telling us that we are the culprits because we simply want to survive. So when you have a character like Karen, it's like, fuck that, never again, no way. Like she is an active revolutionary. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like she's like actually like about it. My wife and I were talking about this is kind of a sidetrack a little bit, but I read the most recent prequels to the Hunger Games. So for President Snow and for Haymitch's story. And we made this distinction around these two people, around Haymitch, which is the protagonist in Sunrise on the Reaping. This movie's coming out at the end of the year. Haymitch is the protagonist in that story, and you find out, at least that's how I read it. I read that he was a hero. He's like a straight up hero in that story. He's such a hero. But in contrast, rather, Katniss is not a hero. Katniss is more of a leader. She's a revolutionary, and I think a similar thing can be said about Matt Murdock and Karen Page. Karen Page is a revolutionary. She's like, yo, I'm out here. We gonna get this done. We changing stuff. Daredevil's more of a hero. Daredevil's like, we gotta save this. He's got his own sense of like morality, right and wrong, and blah blah blah, and wants to save people. He's a hero. So like they're gonna clash but they're gonna be attracted to one another, obviously, especially from their idealism around how they think about things. Like they have nothing. They of course they're gonna be attracted to one another. They're so similar in the way that they believe things. However, their execution is very different. So that's where they
Yeah.
always They always, the two of them always butt heads. It doesn't mean, so I think that she's extremely compelling because she's like down with the man. Let's push the narrative everywhere. Like it was her idea to be like, let's record homie and like use that to like have it so then the one day have the ability to actually frame to like put Kingpin in the right position. And when he was in the courtroom, like it was her idea to put all of
Like
that together. That's what I'm saying. She's all about it. She's about it. I think
I,
she's great. Sorry.
no, I was telling Claude earlier, like
Mm,
you guys gotta watch the Daredevil official podcast because Deborah Ann Wall
mm,
went on there and she was talking about how
yeah.
like this show Daredevil has been through like almost a different showrunner every season, and then plus
Yeah.
now we've been through an entire reboot as well. So
Right.
like the characters of Matt, Wilson, Fisk, and Karen, they the actors themselves have been the caretakers of these roles because like there have been so many different writers, so
That's
many
so
different
true.
showrunners, like
Yeah. Good point.
and yet the actors are helping it feel consistent and like
Right.
and
Right.
like they and like she spoke about how like she she's trying to just look at the overall arc of Karen and like we've seen Karen's been through a lot, from like the flashbacks with her brother dying in the car accident, and then like, or
Mm,
and then her being accused of murder from Fisk in the first place, and then having to kill Wesley, like, and then everything with Ben Urich. Like I was saying earlier, how
yep.
I loved how we got some callbacks to that this season, like how she
Hmm.
still carries the guilt of what happened to
Right.
Ben, how she
Right.
still carries the guilt of killing Wesley, but yet at the same time she feels the relief because Wesley's not around to threaten them anymore, and she's like, that's why we have to kill Kingpin because you
Hmm.
know the more you let him run free, the more he's gonna cause
Right.
destruction and chaos. So
Hmm.
it's like it's very
Hmm.
is lots of interesting moral arguments.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the
Very
dynamic
compelling.
between Matt and Karen. Like a lot of people have said, Claude, you said this earlier that she has more chemistry with Punisher, and
Oh yeah.
maybe she does. I don't. Punisher wasn't there this season, so
It
maybe that's
wasn't,
why
yeah.
she was good with Matt. I don't know, but but I do think
She has
that.
more chemistry, I think, because they're much more aligned in how they get down around how they want to finish things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Punisher and her, they both are down to like shoot, kill everybody they need to kill in order to like accomplish their goals. So I think that just off the cuff of that, they seem like a better match. However, I do think that Matt and Karen are a better match because of how and what ways they keep challenging each other. They keep challenging each other, either to be
Yeah.
better, to change their perspective, to broaden their perspective. I think if she was with Frank, they would just be on a killing spree out here, just doing whatever, and then like,
I think it would be a little
being in love,
toxic,
it'd be
but it
toxic.
would
Yeah,
be it
exactly.
would
It'd
be
just
like
be,
hot. Like
yeah,
they
hot.
would
It would
have
be
yeah,
hot. Right,
but
right.
it would
It'd
be
be hot.
bad in
It'd
the
be
end.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be bad in like a Joker Harley Quinn kind of way. It's hot, but like it's bad. Like y'all are just out here indiscriminately killing people for different reasons. Like she's gonna be like, yeah, do it, Frank, do it. And he like, you right, kid. He's like,
Like
right,
she
like,
was looking for Frank.
yeah,
Like she
yeah,
was
yeah.
like
She was looking
like
for
what
Frank.
she took
Right,
Matt to like his
right.
hideout. Like where's
That's
Frank?
what's
Like
like,
he
where's
wasn't
Frank?
here.
Where's Frank?
We
Yeah,
need
that's what I'm
Frank
saying.
right now.
Like,
Yeah.
nah. They can't. Nah, they
but
can't.
but
They'd be on the
but
loose. Like you can't have them
but
together. Nah, man.
but speaking of matches, I do want to say something that I have not heard anyone else say. So maybe I'm alone in this. Um, I want to circle back to Luke and Jessica because this season, gave us the update of that they're finally together. They have a
Yeah,
daughter now. Like this is more like the comics now. Like I'm, and I'll be honest, I'm cool with it in the comics, but in the Netflix series, I was rooting for Luke and Claire. I'm gonna be honest. Like
I get that.
I never liked him and Jessica
Yeah,
in the Netflix shows because first of all, she killed his first wife even though she was mind controlled, but like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
not a good basis for a relationship. Like, and she was lying about it, like
Yeah, I
but
think that was whack too that they actually did that. I don't like that they had her
yeah,
kill his
yeah,
wife and all of
like
that. That's
it's
silly.
yeah, like at this point we can kind of just like brush all that off as the past, but like it,
True.
but I still I'm a big Rosario Dawson fan. I love Rosario Dawson. I love to see her and Luke. I was devastated with how it ended in season two. I was like, I don't know if they can recover from that. So maybe it's for the best, but I'm
See,
still grieving.
I'm one of those. I would think that like Claire and Luke are better for each other, but also that's why they can't end up together, kind of thing. Where
Right.
like
Uh-huh.
maybe Luke
That's
and
right.
Jessica aren't the best fit necessarily, but they would always find each other again. So I think they're like Yeah, they're long
Again,
term.
I think there's like an antithesis to the two of them. They like hold each other accountable, and they
Hmm.
like Luke is like actually in a position in which like he has always tried to be the best he can be, but now being with Jessica and caring for Jessica and Jessica having the certain type of trauma that she has, he's very sensitive to that. He
I
respects
don't
that in a
know.
different
I don't
way,
know
I
because like
think.
remember how Luke Cage season 2 ended? Like he was becoming the his own kind of kingpin character of Harlem, and then now he comes back. He's been working for Mr. Charles. We don't even know what he's been doing. He's like it's like work over there was different. Like how different? Like what you talking about?
He's
Like
probably because heroes for hire, dog. Like this is here's the thing. That's a here. That's that I will. That, you know how I feel about Luke. Luke's my
I
man.
do,
Like
I do.
so
I
I
know. I was
want it
supposed
to
to say, do we
be
think they had him
yeah.
doing sketchy stuff
I
overseas?
don't think he's doing it. I mean, maybe he might have been, but the thing is, he's heroes. He's about the bread. He's heroes for hire, bro. Like this is how I see it with
But
Luke. It's like Luke is the perfect avatar to talk about like black men in particular and capital. How black men like should have access to capital the same ways in which white men in particular do. However, they don't because what happens is that there's this like moral like compunction placed against black men in a capitalistic space. We are expected to show up in a different way as black men. So I think that like even if he were like so I think that Luke is one of those response like those things like it's like if Luke would have showed up said oh I went across seas to make this money for whatever reasons he's going to be looked at as like a bad dude because because he decided to go make his money. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever the case may be, and I think that he's always in that space around like, oh, is it moral or is it ethical for this black man to go be out here trying to make his money the way he's trying to make his money? Is
no,
that
I agree.
fair?
Like
Yeah,
I'm not judging him for it. But I am just saying like it's been interesting to watch his character journey because like it's been different in every show
yeah, it
he's been
has.
in. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm of the firm opinion that the Luke we saw in Jessica Jones season 1
Hmm.
is not the same Luke that we saw in his own series, which is not the same as the
Oh
Luke that was in
yeah.
Defenders. And I don't know if he'll be
Right.
the same in Daredevil, but we'll
Yeah.
but but even if I try to like smooth over all the
Yeah.
inconsistencies,
That's a good
um
point.
in Luke Cage the show, he was actively like not taking money for a lot of his good deeds. Like
Yeah.
he was more
Yeah.
altruistic, and so like, but towards the end of season 2, that's when he got into
Yeah.
like he's like I'm gonna get my bag. I'm gonna do what it takes to enforce order in this lawless city. So like because like if you don't, it's just gonna be a power vacuum. Someone else is gonna swoop in and try and do it in a worse way. So like I was not mad at him like taking over the club.
Mhm.
Um I wanted to see a season 3 where we could get more into that, but like so
Yeah.
now the question is what has he been doing since then?
I think that's what
Was
it's going
his
to come down to is like how
Right.
aware he is of like how sketchy
Right.
Charles is, or like how he convinced him. Because I think
but like
if he made a good argument, then I could see Luke going along with it. But it all depends on what he had him doing.
but let me
Especially
let me
because
ask you guys
he's
a
a
question
father.
because
He's a father, especially then.
but but I want to
Hmm.
ask you both this question because you both are fathers, you both are
Hmm.
parents, um, and I'm not. So like when I'm watching this season, I was like, I'm happy to see Luke and Jessica come back. But at the same time, after we see Danielle Cage, Jessica gets involved with, the resistance and um, fighting the Kingpin, and then Luke is like overseas and like, where is Danielle? Does anyone care where their child is? Like, like was she in daycare? Like no one even. There was not even a throwaway line. Like Jessica's over here like drinking and fighting bad guys. Luke is like nowhere to be seen. I'm like, what are they doing here? Like, should I just suspend my
That's real.
disbelief? Like should I just go with this and say like this is what superheroes do?
Wherever she was, it cost them a ton for sure because childcare is
Right.
Indeed. He's
I'm
ridiculous.
right
sure
But
about
it did.
that. He's right about that.
maybe
That's
maybe
real.
Danny was
See,
taking care of her.
maybe
Like, do
Danny was
they
taking
have
care of her. Yeah.
like Luke does not have any family left to take care. Like maybe Danny, if he was, yeah,
Because they
like but
didn't
like
mention Danny being overseas with Luke, but
True.
I
yeah.
think they hinted that like we didn't know for sure who was
Yeah, she was like
overseas.
other people, I think,
Yeah.
plural, took the deal. So
Right.
yeah, it was probably
Right.
both.
So maybe they'll
I
get
don't think.
maybe we'll get
They
more
might,
about
yeah, they
them
might
next
actually
season, but
cover it a little next
but
season.
I felt like this season I'll be honest, I feel like this season gave us a lot of nods to the comics without necessarily giving us the care of explaining how we got here or why it's important. Like seeing, like, there's all that stuff, but then with Danielle, but then there's also with Kingpin, like, you get the literal shot of him in front of the water, like that's from the comic books, and that's great,
Yeah.
and it's poetic justice, but at the same time, it's not legal justice. Like we were saying, he killed all these people, and he just gets off free. Like, so
Well, yeah, but I think that that was the interesting thing is that like that was the whole analogy that like Kingpin is left with nothing but his freedom, and that in itself is like a form of a life sentence for him because he doesn't even have Vanessa, he doesn't have the same resources, everything's been stripped from him, so he's kind of in his own life sentence while Matt is also lost something, and I think that like that was the most heroic thing about Matt was that he actually was willing to like fall on the cross, fall on the knife, like, and he's willing to. He had to do that and like put himself in that position to get his identity explained, all that other stuff. Kingpin didn't have any of that type of like those type of like pressures, and he doesn't, especially he doesn't do it for the same reasons. So it's like I don't know. I think that he did lose a lot. I think Kingpin did lose a lot. I think that it would have been way easier if he went to jail. I truly do think it would have been easier for his character. I think that like him having the freedom and having this sort of form of exile is
but should
far
some
harder for him.
but should someone have killed him though?
I think that's the question. Is like should someone kill him? That always comes down to like who is
Who
justice
can
and
kill him?
executioner?
Like, he can
Who's
survive.
morally?
Like, he got shot in the head and survived that. He got blown up, survived
Yeah.
that. Like, maybe he can't be
At this
killed.
point, is it possible?
Is it
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I think
Yeah,
it's one
it's
of those
funny.
things where they're like, oh, well, I said this when we talked last time, Daredevil Born Again season one, our last chat about that, when I was like, how do you get that comeuppance? Like, you really can't just like your political opponent, you can't just kill them off. Like, you can't get rid of Fisk that way necessarily. I mean, you could in a show, but it doesn't mean as much, I guess. I don't know. It's a tricky thing. I think there wasn't a good way to like make everyone happy. There never is, but especially covering something like this, like how do you defeat an evil that's systemic and
I
actually
mean,
fully defeat it without just, oh, we killed the bad guys.
I
That's
thought
not
it
how things
was.
really work. It's
I don't
tough.
know. I thought it was interesting how this show kind of mirrored January 6th, but in a different way, because like
Yeah, it looked just like
these
January
protests,
6th.
like the Daredevil protesters, they stormed the courthouse to come after Fisk. Like, maybe they were trying to kill him, but like they ended up getting killed in large part. So it's like, I think people have talked about why did Fisk get away with killing them. I guess it could be argued that it was self-defense because they were trying to kill him, but like, I don't. Either way, he should still be,
Yeah,
held
I guess with
accountable for
no
something.
witness to say that it was that, like, I don't know, legally,
There were
like
witnesses.
how they
People
did.
did
There
survive.
were, but it's like, are they gonna believe a mob who was there to try
Yeah.
to kill him?
See, that's what
Well,
I'm saying.
it's complicated.
I think the whole point of that I thought that was like really sweet too, like the poetic nature of like Daredevil and Jessica like fighting all these hordes and then Kingpin fighting and then like the two of them like the screen being cut in half and them being between both the doors and the
They both
doors.
got their
I
hallway
thought
scene at
that
the
yeah, they
same
both got
time.
their hallway scene. I thought that was cool and I thought that was smart in regards to showing that first and foremost America is violent and then secondly like revolution is violent, it doesn't matter which side, it's going to be violent. It's like that's the thing, it's like that's like both Democrats or both liberals as well as conservatives like try to point the finger and be like look how like look at them like they doing the same thing, look how terrible these liberals, these conservatives being these the Reds and all. Dog, like we all are violent. Like first and foremost, like Americans are violent.
I don't
And,
know. I think
like
I think
that's
that the
the
history
case.
of,
Like
but there is a tradition of nonviolence that I think gets under appreciated because like we do measure revolutions by the violent ones, but we don't measure revolution by the amount of work and time and effort people put into
no,
nonviolence, like voting, like
certainly.
fighting, protesting, like all these things. That like, I mean,
Yeah,
I think there's room for both. Like
here,
you can't count on one or the other to
here,
to uh
like
to make
I wanted to
the
be clear
change.
though, like when I talk about violent, it being violent is that it is violent, period. Meaning, even if you have people like we talk about the civil rights movement and a non-violent, peaceful movement, those people sustain violence. Those people have violent acts thrusted upon their bodies. Like those people underwent violence, even though they weren't violent in turn. They still actually were hung. They shot Medgar Evers right in his front lawn. He was an architect of of the nonviolent movement, and they killed this man right in front of his children. So it's like either way you look at it, like it is violent. That's I think is the point. Is like we have to acknowledge and understand that about the way in which Americans like think about change. Because like honestly, like there are different examples, even in the show around how like you have work being done that is nonviolent, such as BB. BB did all of that work and it was nonviolent. All of that work she did with the each and every time she did a skit with Kingpin and informing all of the people around them and think about things in different perspectives, all nonviolent. That's not violent. What she's doing is simply like she's it's parody.
She's
You know, she's
informing the
like
people. Like
it's
journalism,
satire. Right, it's
journalism is an
journalism.
important pillar of our
Right, but it's
society. Like
not
it's
violent.
nonviolent
Right,
work
right.
that
It's
that.
that work precisely. It
So it's
is,
like
and it's still
I
that
I
work.
I think we agree. Like there's like it takes a collective of people doing different things to make a social change. Like and you're right. We are a violent society. America in particular is a fucking violent country. So it's
Right.
like
Hmm.
this show did point that out. It does call the question, like to your question, Claude. Like, is violence what it's going to take to bring us out of this situation? Like, and
Well, because
I love. Go ahead.
Go. Well, because they showed like once he was so firmly entrenched in the legal system that he could like say anything about anyone and then be like, "Oh, my professionals back me up on this." And so it was like there was no getting out of it. Just like, I mean, eventually the end did have him handle it on a legal side, so there was that. But like up until that point, it was showing like when it's that stacked against everyone, what do you do? Because it
Yeah,
was like they had Heather like saying that these people were violent when they weren't, or that they had all these tendencies that they didn't
Right.
have.
They have.
And
Right.
then like Kingpin's defense or his lawyers were like they could just do whatever. Like they knew they won every case because they're like, oh, Kingpin's backing us up.
it was all
And
a
it's
farce. It
yeah,
was just a joke.
yeah, it was
And so
literally
like
just like a show.
when the state and the law is this corrupt, it's like how can you even win? So it's like that's what Karen was trying to say. She's like, like we can't like we can't send him back to jail even if we wanted to because like there's not a court that's
Yeah.
going to convict him. So it's like
But then
it
yeah,
was
Matt did take him down legally at the end. So
They did.
sort of
yeah.
like, but that trial was not Kingpin's trial. That was Karen's trial. So it's like he convicted Fisk in front of everybody. Like he finally was able to turn the tables to like bring
The
enough
court of public
evidence.
opinion,
Yeah,
yeah.
the court of public opinion. Like luckily the governor and turned out to be as saint like as people said she was. Like I was shocked that like they had remember when Fisk was trying to like find dirt on her and they couldn't, and then I was expecting at some point we would find something about
Yeah,
her,
I
but
thought she was
no,
just
she
going to
was
be a
clean.
different brand of bad that they like clash, but they're still bad. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that
And that's
is,
the thing about shows like these. Like they always have a good cop, bad cop type of like contrast. Like we have good politician, bad politician. You have good cop, bad cop. Like we didn't really get into talking about Cole North and Powell, but like they were both bad cops. Like
Oh, Cole gets.
but at
Don't
least
even get
Cole
me
had like
started on
half
how.
right.
That's the worst. That what they did with
Yeah,
Cole is the worst. I think that's
it
personally
really
the worst
sucks.
thing. It's
Like
because
we were
that
mad last season, and we're even more mad
they made
now.
it worse. They made it worse. Cole is such an important character to actually demonstrate like how like the whole notion around the bad apple and police office and police, especially when you have black people that are cops. Like he is very important for that to tell that story. Because in the I don't know if y'all read Zarsky's run, but yeah,
Yes.
it's brilliant. But anyway, yeah, him being like him leaving the force, him like getting to a place in which he's like he identifies these certain things, he takes action against them, and he takes like out like legal action, and then he takes like action outside of the legal system, and he's like it just doesn't work, like fuck it, and he leaves. It's like all of that's important to show the systematic nature of like how all this works. And for
Misty
them to
Knight did the
like
same thing in Luke
Missy
Cage.
Knight did the same thing. Yeah, Missy Knight. But they kind of glossed over that. You know how they do with that, especially when it comes to like this is being set in New York, NYPD. There's only so much they could do in regards to like trying to like keep this as like as topical as possible. Like they try to. I mean, it is really in people's faces, but people just choose to deny like this is, oh, we're talking about the NYPD. We're talking about, like ICE. We're talking about, and people don't want to, you don't connect those two things. It's right there. But like I said, like Cole is supposed to represent that. Like I think without that, they just all look like these like sort of like, you know, like fictional boogeymen. Oh, it's just like these like no. Let's like represent that there are people in this space to have a crisis of conscience and actually make specific decisions because there is parts of the system itself that are very toxic that don't put people in a position in which they can actually make any active change as police officers. So a lot of them just straight leave, or some of them get expelled, but that needs to be highlighted and represented, especially within like a comic book or a space like a Daredevil. Daredevil's all about the legal system. He's all about it. That's all what his whole character is about. So that's why it was a brilliant stroke of genius from Zarsky to actually include Cole North, because like that character represents that other side of what Matt represents with the legal system. And I think that them not doing it is a fumble in the show. That was an easy thing. It was a layup. I don't understand. They try to
Yeah,
like give a nod to it at the end by him hitting the other prick cop in the face with the thing when he was pointing the gun at the child and shit. It's like what do I care about him? Like, because that what that does is it reinforces the whole bad apple narrative. It doesn't reinforce like this whole idea that the system itself is a problem, that it's a problem in the first place, that you got these cops pointing guns at unarmed civilians. It glosses over all of that because what it does is it factors it down to just one cop that got out of hand, out of pocket, and needed to be hit on the wrist, instead of the macro shit in which you got all of these cops that have force and have the weight of the city behind them, that gives them the ability to use force with guns on these unarmed citizens, unarmed neighbors. You know what I'm saying? We gloss over all of that
Well,
just to
at
talk
the
about that
least,
one part.
at least they
Yeah.
all went to jail at the end, like Cole, Powell, and all the rest of the agents, which is more than we're getting in real life. Because, like, the
I
people who
mean,
killed uh,
yeah.
people in
I
the
mean, like I
streets are
said,
still.
like
They're not going to jail. They're not.
it's still bad apple. Like it's still the bad apple notion. Oh, let's get the one, two, three,
we got
seven
the
of them
bad
out.
ones in
We got the
in
bad ones
jail.
out,
Yeah,
loud. Everybody, right? So you get it,
I don't
Claude.
know.
It's like
I
one, two,
think.
three, y'all out.
But I think it remains to be seen, like, how much at this end of the season did they purge the system, because, like, the judges, the cops, the lawyers, everybody was corrupt. The media was corrupt. So it's like, it happened real quickly. We did not get to see
yeah, they
what happened. So,
sped through all
But
that.
but that's the
but
that's the point though. Why are we purging? We need reconstruction. This whole thing needs to be rewritten. We need to create a whole new system around it, or like really analyze what does not work for how this systematically empowers people to disenfranchise and hurt people constantly as police officers. That's what we need to be talking about. That whole that's why I think Cold North is so important, because Cold North could not see a way to make that happen and had to leave. That's what
I
that
do think
character
Cole North,
represents.
I do think Cole North in the comics is an interesting
Yeah,
character. I
right.
do think that I do have mixed opinions about black characters in particular being used to, like, be the good cop per se. Like
I
Cole
agree.
North was kind of a
You're
good
right.
cop, and then, like, in the Batman movie, they
Yep.
made Commissioner Gordon black, and, like, he was
Yep.
the good cop when the rest were,
Yep.
like, corrupt.
You're right.
So it's like it kind of puts black people again in this position of, like, we
Yep.
have to be the
The
ones,
better ones.
we
Yep.
have to be the better ones,
Yep.
we have to be,
Yep.
like, always
Yep.
advocating for, like, working within
Yep.
the system. Like, we put a
Yep.
black face on it, that signifies that, they're the good ones. But, like, but there are bad black cops. Black cops killed Freddie Gray. Like black cops, there's good and bad. Like, there's a lot of cops in America, and they're all races, ethnicities. So it's like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, I'm not. I think the issue of propaganda. I think sometimes people um, don't. I think a lot of people take it at a very surface level. Like, any show with a cop in it is propaganda. Like, if you look
Yeah.
at it that way. But, like, I I do think sometimes we have to kind of see what messages are being told in these stories about cops, that or stories that include cops. Um, and we
That's
do
what I have
have
a
to,
problem with, though. When we don't talk about the system itself of policing, we just like we focus on the individual cops and make it a cop show about the personality of the individual. And I think that's the problem. I think that's the American problem because America is all about individualism. This person, you're responsible. You are at fault. Just the one person or that one, set of people, as opposed to it being like, what in what ways has this system and set you up for success to be this corrupt? What in what way did this system work in your favor to give you the space to act like this? Like no, no, no. Like let's talk about that. Like that to me is much more compelling than it being like you're a bad cop. You need to get purged. It's like we already know people
but
do
even
this,
worse though, we have a lot of media that celebrates cops, praises cops, that
right?
makes them the hero, makes them the
Oh,
center of the story.
absolutely.
So it's like,
Mm,
this is
absolutely.
honestly, this is propaganda. This is propaganda. This is like
Yeah,
even
no question.
superhero stuff. Like I try not to rant about it, but I do feel like a lot of superhero media tends to kind of present mythical ideas that are not necessarily very true to life.
Hmm.
If I'm being very honest, I feel like a show like even like Daredevil does kind of fall into the trope of the white savior who's going to come in, who's going to save everybody,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
immigrants who are
No
locked up in
question.
ICE. It's going to beat up all the bad guys. Like
Yeah,
no one
certainly.
can save the day but Daredevil. And like
Yeah, certainly. Certainly.
it just kind of gets on my nerves. Like when I really put it in that
No,
context.
I see your point of view with that. But I also think what's really important about Matt is something that my wife has been talking about for the last few weeks about this concept around like Catholic guilt,
Yeah,
right? That like and like self-flagellation and like
that's a big
and
part of it.
that whole part of it about like how everything is about him. And I think that this in itself is like a superhero white man problem in particular. That's why I like that's why a character like Luke Cage or even Black Panther has so much more range around how to talk about like why they're deciding to do heroic acts. It's so much more complicated. It has more range as opposed to someone like Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man, even if you think about Spider-Man, Spider-Man is very much like, oh, everything's about me. I'm the only one with this power that can do this, and therefore it's my responsibility to do such and such and such. Like everything is very centered on him, and because everything is very centered, he thinks everything's about him. That's how he becomes like very, very selfish in his acts around with his own personal life because he thinks he's the only one that could do it. Like, that came to my mind after I read Ultimate Spider-Man to be able to say
Yeah,
like, oh shit, like because he turned 35 and became Spider-Man, it changes like the whole context of like him around like because Peter Parker becoming 16 again, becoming a Spider-Man, he's still young. He still thinks the world revolves around him. Not until you get to your 30s, Claude, you with me? You get it. You and you too, Freddie. Like until we get to our 30s, we like, wait a minute, the world is bigger than just us. Like it's not just about us. Like, and that's what I think is really important and compelling about like a character like Spider-Man is that he's a teenager. When he's a teenager, that's when you get the best stuff because he's like everything is about me. Everything's about because when you're a teenager, that's what you think. But then when you get older, that's when it's a little bit more complicated. You see the world in a lot more grays. That's why Daredevil's so compelling. Oh, he self-flagellation. His religion compels him, and not to mention his powers compel him. He hears things,
and
smells
his
things,
belief in the legal system,
his belief in a legal
right
system.
or wrong,
Right.
like that's a big part of his career. Like those three
Mhm.
things: his religion, his career, and his
His
superhero
relationship with
job.
the
Yeah,
legal system. I say his relationship because he doesn't have he falls in and out of love with the legal system. I think
yeah,
his relationship is more better. I think that's better suits him because he always
that's
is in
fair.
that space around. Oh, do I like this? Do I hate it? Da,
Like,
da,
yeah,
da.
because even when he was a full time vigilante, he was
Right.
still trying to like
Still.
believe that there
Right.
was some kind of justice system that he could
Right.
manipulate or like in the favor of beating Fisk. But
That's what I think too. I agree with that.
like, what do you guys think about just like the overall season? Like, are you
Hmm.
pleased with everything more or less? Like, any more final thoughts about like the overall
I
season?
actually I personally think I gotta actually dip in a couple of minutes, sorry. But I actually thought that the season was exceptional. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. I think that there was parts of it that were kind of like comic booky, and I love that about it. I love that like they gave him the space to like do what he can with the Billy Club and get busy, and I thought that was a lot. I thought that was great. I think there were certain things that were kind of filler to me. I don't really know where they're going with what's the homie's name? Oh, what was the dude
Buck
that
or
got
Heather
killed?
or
No,
Daniel
Heather, yeah, Heather. She's becoming the new what's that
Muse,
character? Muse, which I think Muse is an interesting character. I think Muse is pretty cool. But I think that like the way that they're taking Muse, I think that's kind of filler. I don't see that being anything too compelling. I thought that was kind of a waste. But there was other things that I thought were a lot of fun. I thought like the investment of like Matt with Karen's relationship is like really important. I think that Kingpin and Daredevil were basically just flirting this whole season.
right?
These two
I was saying
lovebirds.
earlier, he was whispering sweet nothings into Matt's
And sweet
ear,
nothings into Matt's ear,
like
right?
they were getting like face to face, like
Right.
having
They
these
love each
like on
other.
their knees, like just having
Right.
these emotional
Yeah,
moments.
right. That's just how they communicate. They communicate with violence through their fists, but they
Yeah,
do really deeply care about each other. They care about what each other thinks about each other. They care oh man, those two are like really it's like crazy to see that, but I think that that's really brilliant the way that that's
they're
done. I
two
think it's
sides of the same
important.
coin, and like
Same coin.
I do want to
Yeah.
give them some cinematic props for like just the way that Matt being like going to his prison cell was shot almost exact same as Fisk going
Yeah.
to his prison cell
Yeah, I
back
thought that
in
was
the
fun.
Netflix series.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Like
great.
that parallel of them both like having the
Yeah.
same experience is crazy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. Yeah, I think I do hope to see like they figure out different ways to incorporate some more Zarsky story with him with the mask in jail. I think that was one of the most brilliant runs of Daredevil in some time around
If
like I like it really was like him being in the jail cell with just the cowl on his and then the
I
beard,
mean,
The jumpsuit,
the
yeah.
but one
jumpsuit.
thing that I loved
Ooh,
about
so sick.
Zdarsky's Daredevil is that it made Elektra Daredevil as well, and I
Ah,
feel like are
that
they
is
going to
the
bring back
best.
Elektra? I don't know,
I
but
hope so. That was the
if they
best.
don't,
Ah.
I would be okay if they make Karen Daredevil,
Yeah.
in the same way,
Oh, that would be
like,
sweet too.
like
That
she
would
already
actually be
had the red
sweet.
mask. She had the red
Yeah, that would
mask
be
already.
sweet.
Yeah,
That would actually be sweet. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
I've heard the
Huh.
suggestion of them putting Danny in the costume for part of the season, just so there's an
Interesting.
acrobatic person running
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
don't
Could
think
yeah.
they
happen.
would, because he is not well loved.
Also,
But
No.
it's
Bullseye
an
has worn
idea.
the Daredevil costume before.
He has. He looked great in it
True.
too.
He did look
Um,
great in it. That's true. He did. He did look great in it. And that
I
would be
don't know if they'll
compelling.
go back to that though, because they
I,
already did that.
I
Like
don't
they don't
think
want to
so.
repeat
Yeah,
themselves.
I wouldn't think they'd repeat.
No, I don't think so
So
either. But I do think that it's compelling to have Karen possibly be the new
I hadn't
Daredevil.
even
I would
considered
love
that.
that.
Yeah,
like
that would
Me
be
there
neither.
was
I never thought
like
about
there
that.
was a leak from season two. She's wearing like a full red like pantsuit.
Word?
yeah.
Like it's more civilian attire, but like I think she's going to court or
It's a
something.
hint. Yeah.
But it might be a hint. Who knows?
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's a good I mean, I think that'd be a great idea. I'm still waiting for him to bring back Foggy because I don't think Foggy's dead, man. I don't think he's
you know
dead.
what?
Put
You know
Foggy in the
it,
suit.
it's the
Yeah,
MCU.
word.
It's the
He
MCU.
can come
Anything can
back.
happen. But
Yeah, he can come
I
back.
do think he was dead because like I liked how they wrote him back in the season as a flashback.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think if they bring him back, it'll strain the credulity of the season. I mean, I
Mm,
don't know. I mean,
Well, I
anything
think
could
it's going to
happen.
be a season of like just trying stuff because they can't do the old formula with
yeah,
where they left things off. So who
right,
knows what they're going to do?
right. I wonder like how they're gonna even I honestly think that the best thing they could do is actually probably like add more cameos. Just keep it
That's what
going
I'm
with the
thinking.
cameos. Yeah.
New villains where they're like, oh,
New
here's someone from
villains.
the comics that you haven't seen.
Haven't seen,
Just
yeah.
yeah,
Well, who else would be as compelling? I think you need to give Kingpin a break.
he
You
needs
know,
it.
Kingpin
He
for a little
I
absolutely.
while.
mean,
Just like a whole season
first they
without
need to
him.
bring back. They need to bring back Tuck. Um, my man. Am I saying his name
Yeah.
right?
Kirk?
Tuck.
Yeah.
Turk. Thank you. I was
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Turk. Yeah, Turk is the man. I love
Turk.
He
Turk.
used to be the big
Gotta bring back
connecting thing in
Turk.
all the
Yeah.
Netflix
Yeah.
shows.
Like
Only that's
if
true.
you're
He
not gonna
was.
bring
Yeah.
back Claire, bring back Turk. Like bring back
Right.
one of them, if not both of them.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the
Um,
thing. If
Yeah.
they're not going to spin off more shows for the other heroes, it's going to be like an overloaded cast if they just keep bringing
Yeah.
them back
It's
from the
true.
other shows.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like I don't want it to just become a cameo fest. So, like, oh, there's that person we like, and there's that person we like. But it is like rewarding to see people come back. Like when we talked about when Ellison popped back up at the end of the season. Like
Yeah.
so many people. like when Foggy showed up. Like I think when they do it well, it's worth it. But they have to be careful
It
about
depends on which flashback
how they
wig they
do it,
get.
right?
Yeah, I mean, like really does. I mean, like yeah, those wigs were all atrocious, bro.
Yep, we talked
Atrocious
about that.
wigs,
The
bro.
Bucks
It's
one just
crazy,
hurt
bro.
me on a spiritual
Yeah,
level.
yeah, indeed. It was just rough, bro. But I think that there's a chance like that they could actually take the story somewhere else. It depends. Maybe if they even added like a supernatural element to the show for Daredevil.
Now,
I always thought that was compelling for him, like facing off
I
against
I gotta
supernatural
say,
elements.
I was just reading the 2025 Daredevil comic books where they are more
Yeah,
supernatural. Like demons
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
literally haunting
Yeah,
Matt, and then
I
like
remember
a
that.
demon possesses Kingpin, and
Yeah,
that's like all the stuff about mercy and grace and forgiveness. Like it's very on the nose in these comic books.
yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
I it
It's
would
like
be
he's
interesting
facing
if
the
they do
seven
that.
sins. It was like
Yeah,
he's facing the seven. I was reading it too. I didn't get a chance to finish it. It's like
Was that the
facing the. He's
Saladin
like a
Ahmed?
preacher and
yeah,
shit. Yeah,
hmm
Salvador Ahmed's doing that. Yeah, it was like he was a
Okay.
preacher and shit for a bit. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
hmm
I thought it was interesting. I thought it could have been a little bit more faster paced.
I
It's kind
only
of
read the
slow.
first couple of that one,
Couple of issues.
for
Yeah,
that reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right. And
So
I just
I
because the
don't
thing is, well, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think that they'll make Matt a priest. Like they're already dealing with him as a prisoner. Like he's gonna have a you know like next
Hmm.
season he's gonna have a lot to do. So I don't
I think
know.
it'd
Priester.
actually be a good look. I mean, like I think it would be a good look. I think the height of where Zarsky left his story was like it was so high. So whoever took it on, I know that that like his the decision to make it more supernatural in nature was smart because they were like, let's just because like
Totally different.
when
Yeah.
Zarsky left it was like so high, right? The bar was so
And and
high
and
for
this
he remember he
and this
came out of hell
season,
and shit with a white outfit. And I was like, damn,
yep,
like where
yep,
do you go from here with this? Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
and this season really did like give
crazy.
us like as much of Devil's Reign as they could without all the other
Yeah, they could.
superheroes. You
Without
know?
without a full
Right.
cameo fest.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. But I think that I honestly think that's like probably the best direction to take Daredevil is like on some supernatural kind of like see, or supernatural like esque. He doesn't know, we don't know if it's supernatural or not, something along those lines. Like I think that would be good.
I mean,
Because he's always going to fight and do
they
whatever he
already
do, but
introduced
I think that if you
Mephisto
put
and
him in a
Ironheart.
position, yeah. Oh yeah,
Remember
that's
that
right.
Mephisto
That's
and
true.
Ironheart?
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
So
That's
like that
true.
could be an
Yeah, it's
interesting
true. Like they exist. That's what I mean.
crossover.
Like that Doctor Strange exists and all of that shit exists
Yep.
already. Like they could easily do that, but they don't really. Because remember, they would like that. People are thinking that the Watcher was in one
Remember
episode
Madison
and all
went
this
to
other shit.
hell.
Remember that? Madison went to hell.
Remember Madison? She was like,
You bring the Hood
No.
trying to get his powers back, and he's the new Daredevil enemy.
Oh yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
Got
that
you.
was rough. That was rough. That was rough.
that could be
That
interesting."
was rough. Yeah, but I think, like I said, I think that there's a lot of potential, like to do something in that direction, just to like take it that way, just like give him a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot, keep him street level, but like make it deal with some stuff that's like out of the ordinary
I
for
think
him,
they have
like
to
Bring
inject
back
some
Ghost
weirdness,
Rider.
something
yeah,
different.
some
Like,
weirdness, something like really really different and weird.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, even if it's like Ghost Rider or something, or just like some threads to something that's happening that he has to make sense of. Been played on about the man without fear. That whole being his tagline is not much that we've seen around that, and I think that there's a very, very good opportunity to sort of like build that mythos up around Daredevil again, around him being the man without fear. Like we haven't. Why is he the man without fear? We haven't. That hasn't even been touched on. Like I don't think in the last like since Born Again, since even before. I think the Netflix series is the last time they touched on that somewhat around the whole concept around him being the man without fear. I think that's such a huge crucial part of his character. But even in comics lately, in the last maybe decade or so, they have not touched on that whole concept and a characteristic around Daredevil that he's a man without fear. And there's like I always thought that was compelling that this blind man wasn't afraid of anything. But they've
yeah.
yet to really play with
The
that.
Mark Wade run did a really
You
good
know what I'm
job with
saying?
that
They haven't really
because,
played with
and
that much.
they could draw on that because
Oh
Mark
yeah, that's
Wade
perfect. Yeah.
had the whole era
Perfect.
where his identity had been
Yeah,
revealed.
I'm
So
not
like,
Daredevil. Yeah,
yeah,
word.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that shit. I love that. That was such a good
they
run.
need to bring some
That's
of
one of
that
my
into
favorite
it.
runs.
If that shirt doesn't make
That's
it
one of
into
my
the show,
that's thank you. Word. That's one of my like I think like swashbuckling Daredevil is underrated, bro. Like swashbuckling Daredevil, he's like jumping around, kissing women, doing all types of shit. Like I like that Daredevil. That Daredevil's a lot of fun. We see a lot of Bendis Daredevil, a lot of like I'm sad, but there's a whole
Very
other side of
emo.
him that he very emo, right? But the
Yeah,
whole other
fun
side of him,
Daredevil.
he's like having fun. Yeah, fun Daredevil. Like he wasn't
I
She-Hulk,
mean,
like
but
fun Daredevil.
They
that's
could
why
probably
one of the
do it a
most
little this
iconic.
season
That's why
with
one
the
of the most
smiling.
iconic moments of the season was when he was smiling
Right,
when
when
he
he was
was fighting.
smiling.
Like everybody loved that.
Right,
Like
right, 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 right,
Last
right,
season when
right.
he was in court and he was like, "Oh, the cure for black eyes is fast hands." That was a
Yeah,
great. Like
that was
he was
awesome. Yeah,
smirking
yeah,
on that one, and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
"Yeah,
yeah,
yeah." I was feeling
yeah.
the happy Daredevil there.
Me
and
too. I
also
like
when he
that. I
was in
like that.
She-Hulk too. Yeah.
That's true.
Right,
But more of
So
he
that. I'll
was
take
in
more of that.
She-Hulk being happy. That's what I'm
like
saying. I think
bring
there's a
She-Hulk
fun.
to
Yeah,
season 3.
I think I'll take
That's
a
all
little
I
bit,
got to say.
and you can still keep it. Yeah, that'll be ill. Yeah, that's it. They could like he could be like. There's a lot of space with him that they haven't really tapped into. Everyone's used to seeing him in this like very like emo sad. But if you were to make him more swashbuckly, add some superhero like some supernatural elements to it, people would still be on board because it's been long enough that he's established, and they always have this all the same people involved, all of that. But just give him a different edge. Like, oh, he could step to some stuff that Doctor Strange can deal with sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
why
I think
not?
he
Like,
just
why
needs
not tie
different
him into
rogues right
that?
now. Yeah, he
He
just needs some
does. He
cool
does.
enemies that are
Are they going to
He's
bring
very
killing
off
me.
the
Stilt
wall.
Man or
Yeah,
Stilt Woman to
that'd be
season
so
3?
cool. I love Stilt
What would
Man.
that look
I love
like?
how hokey he is. He's so corny
It's
and hokey. I
ridiculous.
love that character.
But you know
He's
who I
just
want to
like
see?
so much fun.
Like I almost thought like with what they were doing with Heather Glenn, like there's a character named Mr. Fear, and
Oh
I
yeah,
I thought they could have maybe rather than making her Muse, they could have made her like Doctor Fear or something like that.
yeah.
But I don't think they're going to do that. I guess that would be too
I
much like the
was
Scarecrow in
I was
Batman.
honestly hoping for Typhoid Mary with her, to be honest.
Well, they have
I
Typhoid Mary.
was.
Did you guys see Iron Fist
Iron
season 2?
Fist too. Yeah,
They could bring her
No
in.
way. Really?
they
They
could bring
should
her
bring
in.
For
her in.
season
They
4?
should bring her in. Maybe Fisk should meet Typhoid Mary at the
Right.
Oh
beach.
Yes,
no,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because remember, they have like a whole thing. Remember, like him
they
and
did. Yeah,
like
yeah, they got
Typhoid Mary
married.
and Kingpin having a whole right. They get married. That's what I'm saying. Like, why not use? And there's a lot to do with that. There's a lot of
They
fun to
should
be had
hire
with
us for the
that.
writers for season
They
3
should.
because
Well,
we
they
got
still
lots
don't
of
even have to bring
ideas.
in Fisk with that. I mean, they
They
could.
should.
They
Yeah,
just
they
meet,
could.
and then she's like, "Oh, I'll impress him by taking over his city for him
Right, by
again."
taking
And she
over his
just,
city
yeah,
for him. See, it's easy. It's easy. You see that, Claude? It made it look it's so
we got it.
easy.
We got it.
It's
And
so
like
easy.
Writers'
It's
room.
so
Typhoid,
Put us in
good.
the
she's
writers' room.
Right.
yeah, and she's
Right.
more of a like crazy killer than
Right.
Vanessa ever was. So like they would
Right.
be even
And
more
you get
evenly
it, and then
matched.
that sort of like sadistic crazy on a woman is far more charming than it is on like a dude right now. That's why I think that they had to switch decks around some because they were like, he's just a crazy
If he
white
was
dude that wants to
just
kill
like
everybody.
the comics,
In the
yeah, it
comics,
would. He would be
Well,
hard to connect
I
to.
do want to say that
right,
with
hard to
Dex.
connect with. Yeah.
Well, not with Dex. With Buck. Okay, first of all, why is his name Buck? Every time I hear his name Buck, I'm like, I think of Buck Huckster from the
Oh,
old
real?
cartoon, but his name is Buck Cashman, which is almost
He's
the same.
Buck, and he's down to. No, I'm not going to finish it.
Yeah,
Right,
like
exactly.
That's what it feels like
Basically.
for him. You know.
Basically,
yeah,
yeah.
like every time he sees Heather,
Let's get it.
but
Yeah, he's trying
basically,
to
what I
get
was
with
gonna
that.
say was, I feel like they are kind of positioning Buck as like kind of a foil for Matt. Like they kind of have a similar look when they're in their suits, and like I don't know, like Buck is a Stone Cold Killer, Matt is not. Like Buck is kind of between Matt and Dex. Like you got Buck in the middle, in terms of like as a
Yeah.
as one of the main
Yeah.
characters who's
Is
like
he
killing
dead,
people.
by the way? Did he die?
No, he
Got
didn't die. He was
shot.
just
Yeah.
shot. He was
Yeah, he just
wounded.
got shot. We don't know what happened to
It
him
was a
then.
gut
Yeah,
shot, so I was worried
we
about
didn't
him.
see him.
So
We
we
didn't
don't
see
even
him
know if
after
this
the
dude.
trial.
That's silly, man. We don't even know if he's dead or not, man. That's dumb.
He's alive.
Wasting my
Everyone is
time.
alive until you see that heart monitor, like we
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
for
yeah,
Vanessa
yeah,
Pierce, like
yeah.
beep,
I
like
could
the
see
flat
them
line.
also making Heather like turn people into Daredevil foes. Like she kind of
Hmm.
Yeah,
manipulates people into doing things that Daredevil has to deal with, but
yeah,
he's in
yeah,
jail,
yeah,
so I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah,
Will
yeah.
I foresee Heather working with Buck as like some kind of Sweeney Todd duo? Like he kills him and
Ooh.
she mutilates him and makes art or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
throwing
that
shit
would be
out there, but
cool.
I think
She's got her one move, which is the throat chop. Against that.
But like,
Yep.
if she like,
She
she
like, but
does
she
not
like
have the.
beat Karen up.
She was off her
That was
Yeah.
wild.
rocker. But the thing is,
Wait,
like,
choking Buck?
is she being
Chicken.
possessed by
I was like, why are you
Muse,
doing
or
this?
is she being
Right.
influenced by Muse? Like, is she going to actually like make art, or is she like she's never been an artist prior to now that we know of? She's a klepto and like a psychiatrist. So
I think, yeah, she's just having some kind of like exploratory breakdown where she's like
yeah,
does not know who she is anymore. So
Yeah,
it is
that's what it seems
interesting.
like.
Yeah, it is
Right,
interesting
right,
to
right.
see what she's going to develop into exactly for
yeah.
what kind of, because eventually she's going to get even more
Like
violent, and it's like what form is that going to take for her?
like
Yeah.
we know that we're
But
gonna see
why?
more of
Why you
Buck and
can't?
more of Heather because they're original to this show. Like they're not going to leave them hanging for next season. So it's
Yeah.
like I, I,
That's
I
true.
do I do I do believe that Heather's going to become more of a Muse type of character, but with Buck, I don't know what's going to happen to him now that Fisk is not around. Like all he did was whatever Fisk wanted him to do, so like he's going to be rudderless, you know,
Hmm, that's true.
Ridiculous.
unless he
Yeah,
goes
I
to
think
work
that's why
for
the
Heather.
combo of them works. If he starts, yeah, being like her sidekick for whatever she gets up to. I don't know. Yeah,
We'll
because what
see.
is she gonna do right now? I don't
Is
know.
she is
She's
she going
also
to
a little
kill Buck?
reckless.
She could kill
It
Buck.
could
No,
kill
she
Buck.
ain't.
Yeah,
She ain't gonna kill Buck. She's trying to keep him alive when they were in the thing, when they were in, caught up
She
in the
was, but she's
jailhouse.
also not right in the head. Like she was about to choke him, but then she didn't. Like,
Yeah,
but he
but
also
that's their
asked her to
thing,
choke
man.
him.
That like right, that's their thing. That's like their thing. Like that
yeah.
was
They're
consent.
about
That
that
was
life.
like that's about that life, right? That's BDSM. That's a consent. That's a different thing.
But
We
it
were
could
talking
be an
about that
accident.
Yeah.
earlier.
Maybe she
I
could
was like,
accidentally kill him.
yeah,
Well, can you
maybe.
do the same thing by BDSM? You can accidentally do it. That's why you gotta listen to your partner when and have safe words.
Yeah,
And that's what yeah, they weren't there yet. They got to get to that point and have the safe word.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
that'll
Yeah,
be her
that's
journey through the next season. Is the like,
maybe.
Finding the
here's
safe word.
Daredevil, but also
Yeah.
here's an exploration of kink through
Yeah, kink. Right. That's what it seems like. That's what it really
50
seemed like
Shades of
between them.
Grey.
I'm like, these two, I'm like, y'all are lame, bro.
Well, I
Get a
like that they
room.
also had like Daredevil. We talked about this earlier. They also had Matt being like, "Oh, I'm kind of about feet," and I was like, "Well,
Yeah,
good,"
my
because
man.
I don't like when they just have like the kink
Yeah.
stuff, and they're like,
Like,
"Oh, look, that's
right.
the villains doing that."
Only
Villain
It's like,
stuff.
nah,
villains.
man,
Agreed, agreed.
everyone,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody like has their
I just
thing,
don't want
right?
it
Exactly.
villainized is the thing.
I agree.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more, actually. I couldn't agree with you more. It's like, yeah, my man Matt representing my man. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel that, like, for sure. Like, I think that, I think that that's a really great point, Claude, because like those types of things do get villainized, and I think that that character, like the two of them, I think that they sort of represent like how like people could have those sort of like sexual tendencies, but not know how to manifest them, and it becomes like this other part of their psyche that they can't really control. And I think that that's really what it is. I think she's wasn't she was a victim of violence, not sexual violence, but violence nonetheless. And that does something to your psyche in that way for
yeah.
you to
She's
think about
really
your
like
body
she is figuring herself
And
out.
and and
self
she
out.
is
Yeah.
still, and she's been consistently pissed off at Matt for how their relationship
Yeah, she
ended.
just
Like,
yeah, I think that's so lame. Like how mad she is at Matt about those things. Like it's
yeah,
so silly. So freaking silly.
But he called out
Ugh.
for Karen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you talking? Like, she
Like,
old
let it go,
girl's,
Heather. Let
yeah,
it go.
old girl's going through it, man. Yeah,
all right,
man.
so
But
we should probably
I gotta,
start winding
Oh
yeah,
down
yeah.
a bit.
I gotta wind down myself. I gotta dip myself. Yeah, it's late.
All right, well, thank you
Dang,
guys so
sorry.
much for joining me tonight.
Yeah, of course.
Lots of
Sorry
good
if I'm late,
conversation,
man.
and it's
Sorry.
all right. It's all right.
You're good. You're
Um,
good.
and hopefully we can chat again sometime. The next
Yeah, I'd like
show is
that.
the next this week. Punisher specials coming out. Are you guys gonna
Oh,
watch it?
right. Yeah,
I don't know if I'm
certainly.
gonna watch
I'll
it yet.
probably see it. I'll probably see it
Yeah, I'll watch it.
not the night it comes out because of when I work, but
Yeah, but
I
I'll
might
probably
watch it,
Wednesday.
but like I'm gonna admit I'm very sensitive to gun violence. So I'm like and like I know that sounds silly after just watching Daredevil where
No, it's
all
not
kinds of violence
silly.
happen. But you know what you're getting into with Punisher.
Yeah, a whole show of it. Like, if you're
That's
not in
why
the
I
right
didn't watch
headspace,
Punisher Netflix. So like
Oh, you
I
didn't
might
watch it.
watch it. I didn't watch it.
It's worth watching. It's really
Like
brutal. I gotta say, it's really brutal.
so I
Really, really
might,
brutal.
if I watch anything, I might watch this Punisher special just because it seems like such an important bridge from Daredevil to Spider-Man. or maybe it might not have anything to do with Spider-Man. You never know with
It
these
definitely does.
Marvel things. Like it's always up in the air. So
The
we
name
shall
makes me
see.
wonder if like after this he's like, oh, I'm not killing anymore because it's one last kill, and then that's why he can be in a Spider-Man movie. That's I wonder if
Yes.
that's how they're
Hmm.
doing it. Is like, oh, look, we fixed that portion of him.
Yeah,
But who
Well,
yeah.
knows?
I think they're gonna subvert our expectations because they do that a lot. Like they'll make you think one thing, and then like what we get is like completely different. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
But
I do want to see
also,
what it's like.
Yeah, I'm
but
gonna
also
watch it.
coming up soon, we got Spider-Man Noir on Amazon Prime. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
wearing
I forgot
my
about that.
Daredevil Noir shirt. This is from the
Hey,
Daredevil
Oh,
Noir
sweet.
comic, but like
I'm
uh
Peacemaker today.
Yeah,
nice. And you got
yeah.
Spider-Man. We're all
That's right.
representing. All right,
Hmm.
so but I do think that I'm curious. I mean, I kind of love Nick Cage. I'm curious to see what he's gonna do
I like him
in
too. I
his
don't know
Yeah,
when
show.
me
I'll
too.
watch that one because I don't have
Yeah, me
Prime.
too.
But
Oh, okay, I get
when
that.
I get to it at
Smart
some point.
man.
So I
No
think
doubt.
is that coming out at the end of this month or next month?
I think it's the end of
Um,
this month, actually. Yeah,
wow.
I think it's the end of this
So
month.
so like there's always superhero stuff. I'm sure we will meet again. But until then, please like, comment, subscribe. You can follow us on various social media platforms. Um, any final things you guys would like to say before we sign off?
Mm,
I'm good. Stay nerdy.
yeah,
Stay
indeed. Stay
nerdy
nerdy. Very true.
and Excelsior, my friends. Bye bye.
There you go.